Are we live? I think we are live.
It says live on the top left.
Yes, it says live on the top left.
I don't know the indicator for live.
I think we got it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get some boomer comments, but you know what? You gotta learn. We don't have that square Chris.
Yeah, we got the other Chris.
Yeah, we got the cool Chris. We don't
I'm
have
gonna dunk
that
on him.
square. He's gonna be like, oh, stream's going too long. You know what I mean? You
That's
you
fair.
you know trying to move topics and all that stuff. Nah, we chilling today, bro. We chilling
That's
today. We
fair.
talking. Yo, what's good, bro?
What's good stuff? So how you doing, brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling, bro. We got some shit to get into. First off, how are y'all doing today?
Doing good, man. It's been a surprisingly productive day, man. Get a lot of comic business done today, so that's a good thing.
Hell yeah,
So
you
it's a
got
good
a
thing.
Kickstarter going right now, don't you?
Yeah. We got a Kickstarter going. We got funded today, so that's good. So
Oh shit!
we'll just be pushing to getting our stretch goals from there. Then yeah, on to the next stuff for 2023, man.
Hell yeah, we can get into that. Christopher, how you doing, bro?
I hate you
You hate me for what? What did I do already?
because it went. You ruined my day, and this is why we're here.
I ruined your day.
You ruined my day, and it's your fault.
It's my fault. I wrote this comic.
You brought it to my attention more than I wanted. Like I was okay with just a panel, and then that was it. But then I had to go and do the whole backstory. So yeah, you put me into a bind.
Yo, Christopher is like, yo, fuck all the pleasantries. Like,
Yeah.
First of all, fuck you.
that's, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Of course, we are talking about the recent Captain America controversy. First off, we got Holden in the oh, what's good, brother? What's good? First off, Marcus, have you been reading this Black Panther run?
I have not. The last Black Panther run I read was Nation Under Our Feet when Ta-Nehisi Coates was on the title, and that's actually around time shortly after that. I jumped off most mainstream stuff. So I think I picked up that, and I was reading Moon Knight, and then yeah, just kind of ended up
I
moving
fell off.
away from the big titles after that.
Speaking of falling off, the motherfucker saying T'Challa fell off. That's what the streets are saying. Yeah, I have. This is actually the first Black Panther story that I say consumed. I read this entire 13 issue series in like an hour. I very, very, very much just skimmed through it. Christopher, how long did it take you to get through this, or not get through this, but read it?
I never finished it. I went to chapter 8 or 9 and DM'd you and was like, I can't take this anymore. This is and this is all because you started off with saying that was pretty good. I liked it. And I was like, well, okay, well, let me go be well informed. So I opened it like an idiot, read it like an idiot, and was brought with the worst like T'Challa ever I've ever seen written.
Damn.
Bro, that's depressing because
It's
like
super depressing.
I don't know how it started. I don't know whose post I saw first, but I felt like I was just getting pages of this comic on my stream all of a sudden. I'm like, maybe I'm just not getting the context of something. But it's like every page that I read like made it worse. It just kept getting worse.
I
There's
was just
no context applicable that could help it.
well, see, I was just laughing last night just at the fact that Captain America told Black Panther, "I'll beat your butt." Like that was it. Like that was the entire. You want a butt whooping? That's the only thing I was laughing about, and I was like, "All right, that'll be the extent of this comic. I won't never have to see it ever again." 24 hours later, and it's like, "I have an idea." And here we
Twitter
are.
had an idea, bro. It wasn't me. You know what's funny is that this comic has been going not viral, but like comic book viral a couple of times. Like it's happened. It was like the one thing where he's leaving the Avengers. And then there's obviously the thing we're here to talk about. I said this comic was good mainly because I don't have the highest opinion. I don't have the highest opinion of mainstream comics. you know? And for that, well, you know what I didn't want? I didn't want Bendicisms. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want the hooba dooba, as my boy Corey will say. I didn't want that corny ass self-referential dialogue, and that was missing. It was also a new take. It was they made T'Challa really vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what I identified. I was also skipping over a lot. I was skipping over a lot of details
Yes, you
as
were.
well. There was a lot of, I don't want to say filler, but it did feel a lot like, man, we could speed this up for sure. Like when we were reading it. And also, I mean, it kind of points to some of the problem I think people have with these comic books in these Marvel titles, DC titles. It's like there's so much, they don't give you context for shit. It's like, yo, like there's the Daj Malai, I forgot what the name is, like the pronunciation. They're gone. Fuck them, they're gone. T'Challa has been back and forth. He's like works at a space embassy. He's like, yo, who, like, what is going on? They don't give no type of introduction. And I believe this is a continuation. Yeah, this is a continuation. So it's not, this is why I kind of like the self-contained stories more so, because like it's just so hard to just get a grasp of what's going on sometimes, you know. Okay. So you hated it, is that fair to say?
I hated it so far, yeah. Right now.
So far, you were 9 issues in, so I feel like it's fair to say. It's like sometimes, you know, like people, you know what I hate is when a motherfucker, you'll be like, I don't like this show. It's like, how far did you get in? It's like 2-3 episodes. They're like, you got to wait until episode 9. It's like, nah, bro. Like, I'm about to rewatch Breaking Bad. Like, what the hell do I look like giving something this much attention? You did not like this comic book.
No.
Speaking vaguely, what was it about this comic book? Like, that just rubs you the wrong way.
It painted T'Challa as a wanton liar, as a mistrustful person, as a non-leader leader. T'Challa is Wakanda first, everybody else second, and with that being, everybody who he's protecting, he's not supposed to be lying to and keeping in the shadows. So in this comic, he did just that, and he kept doing it over and over again. And then he would turn around and be like, "No one trusts me," and it's like, well, it's like,
damn, what do I?
Well, shit. And even his sister was like, "Well, of course, because you got XYZ going on." I don't like the fact that he literally created this like paranoia. Like he has sleeper agents in like every country.
Chris, is there any like cliff notes you could provide? Because like I haven't read it. All I've seen was like a few pages of it. If there's anything you can do like that isn't spoiler, anything okay. like that to sort of help that along.
Well, he's a liar. David Oldham is a liar.
Lies.
I won't even. I won't because like doing anything else would just tell you how he lied and how he's like getting called out for it, and everybody's like, "Stop it!" And he's like, "I can't help it."
We can get into it. So, and he's right. This didn't feel like T'Challa, to be honest. It felt like almost Tony Stark or like Hank Pym almost. Like the way it was like, I'm just fucking up. Like every opportunity I get, I'm a fuck up. like, and then it's just progressively getting worse. It's kind of. If this was a different character, I think this would be really good. And I guess I don't have my exposure to T'Challa has been Black Panther, the movies, and there were 3 of those. You know, there's 2. So I didn't have the biggest I didn't have the biggest knowledge about T'Challa going into these. And I generally I try. Let me ask you guys this: with these adaptions, with these properties, these comic books, how much like do they have to, I don't want to say stick to it, but stick to, I guess, like the principles of that character? Because this almost, what was it called? It was Disassembled, right? Or Avengers Disassembled, or it's almost like an Ultimate where it's like we're deconstructing the character, you know, but it didn't, but you deconstruct to the point where it's not even T'Challa anymore. He's just a liar. Everybody beats the shit out of him. Everybody kicks his ass. His wife leaves him. Like it's so crazy. So how much do you think they need to stick to like the principles of the characters or the ideas of these characters?
I think when it comes to the character, I mean, it's all about, some things can change as different interpretations and things like that happen, but like the characterization has to feel key and has to feel consistent. And I think that was the cool thing that MCU and Chadwick Boseman brought to the character was like the character that was in the MCU felt like T'Challa, from the comic books. I think if all you ever did is watch Black Panther and Civil War, you got a pretty good, solid feeling of how T'Challa is in the comics. In the comics, he could be like a little more prickish, like here and there, but it always comes from that like same core of like being proud and being Wakanda first and being very well reasoned and with like this is a dude who like wouldn't even take a spot on the Illuminati initially because he didn't agree with the methodology of how they were going about things. So he's principled on top of doing all that. And this like I always love his first appearance when he like beats the shit out of Fantastic Four just for like proving it to himself that he's ready to be that dude. Like no hard feelings, but I had to get in the ass a little bit, let myself know that I'm ready to come for this. So like any sort of duplicitousness from the character, the things like that don't drive him like being punked out and being a bitch and like stuff like that. Well, should never ring true for the character. And like even just like seeing one panel, I was like, that's not for either Captain America or T'Challa. Like that ain't right for either one of those characters. If you have even like a glancing, even if you just know the MCU movies, if you read those, like something is off right there.
Yeah. Nah, 100%. This is because when I think of T'Challa, I think of like he's almost like I love the parallel between him and Captain America. Like they're very principled, they're very prideful. But man, here it's like, bro, it's like he's kind of a bitch. he's kind of a bitch, and then also it's like this plan that he comes up. Let's talk about. I mean, this is issue 1, literally. So, and I'm trying to like understand what's going on because this is fallout from another event or some shit like that. So essentially, Wakanda has moved to a democracy, which is I think is an interesting idea. So a large part of this comic book is dealing with the democracy, going from having a king to a democracy. And at this point, T'Challa is just a figurehead. They're like, we need you to be here. And he's just like, I'm not doing anything. I don't have any power. And he has these warriors that he disperses across the world. And then they're like sleeper agents. And they kind of like assimilate with society and all this stuff. They assimilate with the individual cultures. And then he's like, yo, if Wakanda falls, y'all just fuck shit up. Like y'all go ape shit. It's not too dissimilar from the Killmonger.
It is Killmonger.
Yeah. Okay. So that's basically what it is. And it's like that don't sound like the best use of resources. Like I thought they were gonna like try to come back and save Wakanda, but like no, like you go buck fucking wild. And I don't know. That didn't seem like a very good plan, to be honest. So it sounds like this whole thing was kind of off to a rough start, just from the beginning. And we already know how finicky comic book fans can be. We already know they don't like new stuff, right? But what I liked was that there were good ideas here. There was, like I said, the Wakanda being a democracy sounds fascinating.
Yeah, that's
like
super interesting.
T'Challa, this initial fuck up is like it's okay to fuck up, but it's like he was fucking up, lying about fucking up. I'll be honest with you, and then lie, not telling nobody nothing. It's just what is this? It was just like, what is this? Okay, so there's the moment. I'm gonna pull this up. What is y'all's like impression of that moment where I'm gonna pull this tweet right now. Let me see.
Whenever I hear the words "pull up tweet," I know it's gonna be some shiesty business.
It is very much about to be shiesty.
Shane said that T'Challa was a side character.
T'Challa. I told you the Avengers would handle things, so you can either go back to Wakanda or stick around and get your butt kicked. Up to you. I see the big homie Advent right here.
Well, the first two words started out pretty good there. They had that going for them.
T'Challa and then Steven. They said each other's names.
I was invested.
Yep.
You were invested from those. Like, is this? Do y'all think this is racist? Let's get into it. Do y'all think this is racist?
It's highly coded. I would say so. Like, if as an editor, if like I was to be going through a script revision and I would see that, and I'm an editor at Marvel, I'm gonna be like, hold the fuck up. Like, like what? First off, Captain America doesn't talk like that. First and foremost, he doesn't. You can't find two Avengers that have more of it. It could be begrudging at times, but two Avengers that respect and appreciate each other more than Captain America and T'Challa. So for him to basically say, I told you to take your black ass back to Africa or I'm gonna beat your ass. It's just like what? So like I would say, yeah, it's kind of racist. Like I don't want to just like pull the card, but like in this sort of situation, I can't look at that and feel any other way. There's no line that I can give it to just, just kind of like hand wave them like, maybe they was trying to say something else. Like it just feels real coded like that.
Christopher, what do you think?
I need to know what chapter this was because
13. You didn't read it.
It was all the way at 13 because I stopped it.
This is recent. This is like this came out very, very, very recently.
So from what I'm reading, he can't go back to Wakanda. So and Steve knows that. So unless there's like something that happened between like the middle pages, it seems like there's a slight continuity issue at the same time.
Yep.
But it's 100% coded. You are 100% correct. However, get your butt kicked is still the stupidest, funniest thing I read yesterday.
This is definitely not great dialogue. I'll be blunt. This is not great dialogue. Okay. Let's be fair. I'm not playing devil's advocate here. Like I said, I kind of like this comic book. Captain America is an 80-year-old man, right? This is a World War II veteran.
Okay.
What he's saying is cringe, but this is how 80-year-old guys talk.
You would know better than both of us.
You said what?
You would know better than both of us.
What do you mean? I'm 80 years old?
No, but you talk to 80-year-old people.
Who are you referring to? You talking about Richard?
No, I ain't
Hey, I think Richard might be offended. You just
hold on.
Why is he catching strays right now, bro? What did Richard do to you?
What did you just shoot him to say why'd you do that?
Let's get to it now. I have a question. This is obviously I don't know. Okay, here's my and I'm really gonna have a good discussion about this. I don't know that this is coded. Like literally, he's from Wakanda. Like if he said go back to Africa, literally, I would see kind of the art. But he's like literally from Wakanda. The entire plot is about Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was on Mars and they said go back to Earth, we wouldn't. I mean, I guess we could still consider that coded, but I mean that is logistically that. Okay, no, not logistically, because as Christopher said, he can't go back to Wakanda. But just taking it at face value, and I'm glad we had Marcus here because I wanted a variety of opinions. I feel like most people commenting on this are not reading this series. I feel like most people will take a panel out of context.
100%. It's not. That's why I didn't want to like rush to be too judgmental. I'm like I haven't read it, so I don't want to like say that it's super terrible. But I was just saying as I was seeing more pages, and it's like seeing a good floor of them in the context, like leading up to this moment and what happened after. I'm just like, yes, something isn't feeling right with me about it.
Understand it. Somebody says it feels off, and I agree with that 1,000,000%. It definitely feels off.
Like if this was Ultimate Captain America, I'm like, 100%. That's on target for him. Makes perfect sense.
Stop it.
616 Steve though, no.
I think these are the pitfalls, and I'm thinking about the Miles Morales Thor comic book. Y'all remember that?
Oh yeah,
I've been trying not to.
Y'all remember that bullshit?
Oh my God.
What is worse, this or that?
Miles.
And
Miles,
yeah,
yeah, Miles.
yeah.
Ain't no end to it, Miles.
No, I would definitely say Miles is worse.
Like Miles is just cringe. I think that was his main, like the main problem with it. Is
What is
just
Captain America?
Captain America's like it's awkward. It's kind of cringe for him in that character moment, but like maybe Captain America saying something cringy like in the heat of a moment or a change, you can buy it. But like a whole comic being front to back like that is a lot different than a speech bubble here and there. You know,
I'm
so
laughing here
Captain
because
America?
I'm laughing right now because I didn't notice this motherfucker had the. I didn't know he had the Mjolnir shoe.
he had the Mjolnir 3s on.
I don't
in the ivory
you
on
think
ruby
this comic-
colorway. Oh my god!
you didn't think this comic could get any more racist.
Odin, get me on StockX.
What the fuck is this, bro? No, and he's got the Thunderbolt. I think this is definitively worse than the Captain America moment, and I don't think people are treating it. I don't think people are treating it. No, the fact that
right there. Thank you. That's what I was waiting for that. Right there.
they got the shoes on the and ask because this doesn't. I don't want to I don't want to rehash all this stuff. And I think it's a shame because that's a cool costume design. I think like this could have been really cool, and then just the way they executed it was just the worst,
White.
the absolute worst.
I just don't understand why they just didn't make it like a straightforward. Miles Morales is the one that found Thor's hammer. He was found worthy, and then just roll with it that way. Like why does it take place in this like the Wizified like version of Asgard? Like I don't know what else to call it.
Oh my fucking! Oh my fucking god!
No,
You know what? And I think this is the pitfalls of having non-black writers working on these properties featuring black characters because they're not going to treat it with the same respect and appreciation of the culture that a black writer would make.
What color is John Ridley?
John really wrote this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They got a black guy to write this comic book?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's my first clue. It's like because Captain America sounds like he's written by like somebody who is a person of color or black who don't really know anything about Captain America. Like this is a sort of dialogue that would come out of his mouth. So that felt
Yeah.
to me.
I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious. I understand, but it's just so. It's actually I'm making a joke because a lot of times what'll happen during these is somebody will be like, "How come you didn't get a black creator? Why didn't you get a black creator to like look over this?" And it's like, yo, I'm so tired of people treating like black people like we're like a hive mind. Like it's like we have like we all go back to one neural center or some shit like that. It's like, bro, we are so diverse. We feel differently about different things. You gotta get the right black person. I ain't gonna lie. John Ridley writing a Black Panther comic book sounds like a no miss. Like it sounds like something that made sense, right? Like this is a guy
I'm
who
trying
did
to remember
Undercover.
what has he done before, and like I'm trying to like recall what of his I read before. I'm trying to
Undercover Brother, which I think is one of my favorite comedies. One of my favorite movies. I think it's brilliantly written. I think
it's underrated for sure. Yeah.
I think it's like in terms of satire, I think it's on like a Tarantino Edgar Wright level. Obviously, it doesn't have the same level, like the same production value and stuff like that, the same like prestige. But I'm just talking in terms of parodying a genre. I feel like it's on that level. It's so fucking funny. What's up, Chris?
No, someone just like typed Chris, and I was like, "Oh, hi, hello, how you doing?"
Shane said we obviously need to research up on Christopher Price. Let me know what you mean by that, Shane.
No, Price did one of the best Panther comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying like
Concrete Jungle.
I just wonder what he meant in context, or she's just saying just check it out. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But and then he also did 12 Years a Slave, which is
No,
an incredible movie. And well, you know what's interesting is I think like different people might feel differently about it, because of the whole slave narrative. Me personally, I feel like 12 Years a Slave was a great kind of period on slave movies. I feel like that was like, okay, this is the last one. We did everything. This is like 2.5 hours of torture. You're free from slave movies. I feel like it's a great movie. I feel like it was extremely well done, and I feel like John Ridley is an incredible talent. So those are the two big things I can think of, Marcus.
okay.
And those are great things. I feel like those are fantastic. Those are two fantastic things. So my question is it a problem for Captain America to be racist?
In a specific context.
What's the specific context?
If there's an all black Avenger squad next to him that he has to go like up against, because has it been done? No, just do it. Just do it. But no, but in all seriousness, uh, yeah, because he came from that time period, so he could have, but there should be like a showcase of like him, becoming more tolerant.
I think me personally, yeah, it's realistic. Like to me, like he's 80 years old. I think realism doesn't always equal quality. We understand that, but I guess my bigger point is that I don't think John Ridley, the guy who did a black exploitation parody and then did a slave movie, I don't think he's doesn't understand what the language is here. You know, I think that might be they're talking about colonization. I think he's aware, and I do think I do think intent is important. Now, I think the intent is a little bit muddled, and that's where I would kind of slap him on the wrist a little bit. But like when we the thing about the Miles Morales thing is that it's like, bro, this was like, what were you thinking? Like the intent, everything was wrong, and it was like an obliviousness to like how racist that comic was. And I think here it does seem to be some common commentary. I think the problem is, what is it saying? Like what do I really take away from this moment? And I think that's why it's bad. So Marcus, like I said, I had the benefit of reading the issues. Chris quit, and then you have completely like you don't know. How do you feel about Captain America being racist?
I think it has to be how it comes off. You want to know what I immediately think about is like one of my favorite examples of like a properly racist superhero comic book character. Do you remember that episode of Justice League where the League believes they travel back in time, and John Stewart goes back and he runs into like that other analog of Green Lantern, and he keeps saying like shit on the slide like you're a credit to your people, son, and like shit like that. Like if Steve Rogers was saying that kind of stuff, like even if the context wasn't super down, but like okay, 100%, like that tracks. Like that's the sort of racism that I would see coming from Captain America. Like if it's more like on the nose, that's maybe something okay. If it's John Walker as Captain America or somebody like that, then like I could see it. So I think I would personally like to see like a sort of like fish out of water story with Captain America. He wakes up from the ice in the 60s and he's trying to get acclimated, and it's a lot of that sort of like I don't see you as a black person, like type racism, like this stuff like that coming out of him. So I think there's a way to.
Tyler.
Yeah, you want to.
Marcus, you were treading really close to Gran Torino, Clint Eastwood, Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But I'll say for properly like 616 Captain America, nah, it's not okay for him to be it. If you're doing like an offshoot story, a little bit of a Elseworld, so to speak, where you're like examining that and just like having fun with a dissection of the character. Steve Rogers, no. John Walker, maybe yes, even though he's not explicitly racist, but he's like Reagan Republican era, Captain America. So you know how that be that could But yeah, in the context of modern day, nah, I couldn't see it.
Well, what if it was done on purpose? Because he is talking to T'Challa, telling him to go back to Wakanda, while holding a vibranium shield. So there
Mhm.
might be a little bit of symbolism somewhere. I
Yeah,
wish it was more
I
clear.
think it's certainly intentionally provocative by John Ridley, and I think he kind of spiced it up, knowing that it's going to get people talking a little bit and get some eyes on it. And I even think like how the action is staged, like later on when they start fighting, is also very like um unapologetically like brutal look at the fight and what he's doing to T'Challa and everything like that is not done in this typical splashy superhero style. It looks like the character's being victimized. Um, so yeah, I feel like there's he was definitely trying to push some buttons, so to
It
speak.
was a good pace turn.
Was this? Oh shit! Was this? With this Captain America? With this Captain America storm the Capitol? What do y'all think?
This particular one that we see now, yeah, he probably would have been there
Listen.
climbing the fence.
Listen, he would have hopped in and saved Ashley Babbitt from being shot with the shield.
The only way none of them should have gotten like shot was if Captain America was there. That is the only reason.
They see like the guard about to like just like plug her, and then like Captain America just comes in with the shield.
Exactly. He comes there with the shield. Hey, go back to Detroit. You want to kick your butt?
Okay. Yeah. So I hate when my camera zooms out, bro. No, so I think I think I agree with you guys. Like him being racist, in the right context can work. I don't know, like what you said, and I also think it's a problem with like kind of doing the problem with doing the whole everything's in one universe is that like you could have had a really interesting thing where Captain America is like, I fuck with you, T'Challa, but all lives matter. Like you could have done something like that and had it be really interesting, but you also have to connect this Captain America to the Captain America, and like that's in the rest of the universe. So I think, and shout out to George, my boy George says you don't have to read everything. So I'm trying not to smash on mainstream comics too much, but if you made this exact story in a vacuum, I feel like you could flesh this out. So, because I didn't get any racial undertones from Cap for the rest of the movie, even if he was just passive aggressive, like that, I feel like that could have been interesting. But it just feels half what is it, half cocked.
I
What do
don't
y'all
know
think?
what it
I think so.
because I'm the person who stopped reading it and came to you and said, you got to help me out, friend. I can't go further
Tell me more about what you hated about this comic book.
without saying too much. Well, no,
Say
you
it.
were saying like the one point that I actually hated. I really hated the sleeper agents. I hated that so much.
So the sleepovers are out in different countries,
And
and
just like
they're
you said, they
in the
were
cut,
supposed to, yeah,
and
and
it's
then
only
they were
10 of
supposed to
them.
do
It's
it.
only 10 of them. So like you got like
10 major
one,
countries.
yeah, you get one kind of per continent and you get to double up elsewhere, but that doesn't really seem, I don't know, like maybe do 20. Like why only 10? Like it doesn't even seem like a good.
I know you got more than 10 dudes in Wakanda. You can send on missions.
Look, they all got their own little suits, but it was reminiscent of when Batman made Brother Eye because he couldn't trust nobody in the Justice League, and so it felt like that. It felt like he was trying to do that in the most like simplistic way without going too much into like technology, and I felt like he didn't hit that milestone for even doing that in that short amount of time. Because just like you said, I don't know the conflict as to why he can't be trusted. I can see that he keeps being like untrustworthy now, but I don't know what
Yeah.
happened prior. And there's no like, last issue. There's nothing. So I have to go and start digging for other stuff, and I hate digging. So this was a very ill everybody. Oh, you didn't even tell him who saves him from the fight.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it was Namor, which is kind of when I kind of like I was like, I'm not gonna read this
I
anymore.
like that face right there.
Like literally the last person on Earth that should show up in between these. We didn't really Namor would be like looking behind a rock at these two fighting. Just like, oh shit.
How much of this was influenced by the Black Panther movies? And by that I mean I know Namor is a big character, but really he doesn't have a presence in this story at all. Like not one. He feels completely out of place. So I'm just curious, like, do you do this to kind of like bump up the, kind of add more to the lore, kind of like he's popping right now because of Black Panther 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel.
He's hot right now.
It's very quick.
Yeah.
Very cynical.
Well, I mean,
they're looking for synergy all the time, which you can't blame them because
it's not
that's what you
synergy.
do when you got a brand.
They're looking to re-up from their $700 million movie that was supposed to be $1 billion. So they're just trying to sell comics at this point to kind of cover it up.
They gotta sell a lot of fucking comics.
Well, this is not a good start. Was not a fan.
How do you
know
guys
just
feel?
like this kind of like reminds? Sorry, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was about to say like what it sort of brings to mind is like I don't know if you guys read Tom King's Vision. I think that story does a good job of like doing something that's in continuity, but basically like giving it a clean slate and like putting it on a little bit of a different twist. So when the characters do something that's out of character or something they wouldn't necessarily, do within the context of an Avenger story or something like that is well founded and like well put in place. But this, just from what I'm looking at, what I'm hearing, it's trying to be like that, but it's trying to like have its cake and eat it too in like that same regard. Like yeah, we're trying to do something different and like trying to tell like a particular story, but like we're not really going all in with like this is kind of like its own thing. So everything feels off for the characters, motivations, their actions. Captain America coming in talking about how you're going with people, but like all that sort of thing. That's what it feels like to me, really.
I wonder. So I always like to look at things like somebody was talking about like Black representation, and somebody was like to me, I'm gonna give my perspective. I feel like we all want representation, right? We obviously want that, but I think some people, and not in this instance, but some people I feel like can be a little bit. Listen, if you want more representation, you're opening the gate for more. You're gonna have to be okay, not okay, but you're also gonna get bad representation, right? You're gonna get stuff that misses. You're not gonna get. It's not gonna be all bangers, right? And I feel like we have to be prepared with that. And there's nothing wrong with calling it out, but I do think we should understand that we should look at the intent, and we should be like, okay, where would this person go wrong and what can we do to fix it, as opposed to, I don't want to say canceling, but it seems like more like outrage instead of like understanding like, okay, this is a byproduct of what overall is a good thing, and this is gonna happen occasionally. And I think I've seen it a lot, and it's like, can you tell interesting stories with Black people? And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of times there's so many different caveats with that. You know what I'm saying? Like we already mentioned the slave movie. People don't, or the struggle movie. You know what those are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like we can't have a struggle movie anymore. We don't want to see struggle. They don't want to see us win. It's like, bro, conflict is the engine of storytelling. So I don't want a story that's Black people that they're all happy all the time, because that sounds boring. You know what I'm saying? You're describing a Tyler Perry movie, and those are two scary options between another slave movie or a Tyler Perry movie. Those are really shitty. Those are really shitty options. But I feel like people look at Black media, like I'm talking about hoteps, basically, very very linearly. It's a lot of syllables in that word. Almost don't. Do you guys feel like it's harder to do? No, I'm not going. Obviously, you can do interesting stories of black characters. Do you guys feel like it's harder? Do you guys feel like there's extra steps due to the reception, the possible pushback from both sides?
No. When I made Jazz, my whole focus was to put Black characters in a sci-fi setting that didn't really have Black characters in it, but I wasn't gonna make them be like pimps or jive turkeys or whatever. They was gonna be like the casual, protagonist. So
Mhm.
there is a bit of a struggle because people will perceive it as, oh no, it's gonna be all black people, so it'll be a part of a culture that I don't take part in. So therefore, this is not for me, and then they'll be turned off from it. And I've always told people, no, it's just the color of the skin. The content is just the way you want it. So you're gonna have pushback regardless if it's black, gay, whatever. All you
Mhm.
got to do is just present the work and do it in a way where it's still cohesive of the whole narrative of like all your readers. But no, black. We, as you said earlier, we definitely need to um, focus on what type of representation that we need in here because not all of it's going to be good, and all the good ones will get overshadowed.
Let me say something, yeah, real quick, because like the first thing I'm thinking while watching this, I'm like, damn, they emasculated T'Challa. You know what I'm saying? Like they, like that's my first thought, or I guess that's what I'm thinking through the eyes of a Hotep. Like, oh, this is a powerful black man. They made him a cuck. They made him a liar cuck. Um, Mark, do you have anything to you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, it's like it's tough, and I think with me and the things I gravitate towards and things I write, um, I want to talk about this because it's something that's like been in the works for a long time, but probably won't see the light until 2024. But I wrote a story that features a black character, black main character, black main protagonist, but it's not a quote unquote like black comic. Like I don't, but it still takes a little bit of that and plays with it. So I'm playing with the perception of a lead black character in this type of story and like what people are expecting it to be and like what's actually going on. So like the main character is a criminal. He's kind of got those hallmarks of like slick talking brother trying to get one over on somebody. That's a whole initiative of the story, but how it goes wrong and how the story like develops beyond that, it just goes in like a complete direction, just swerves like immediately. So I like exploring it from the avenue of preying on people's conceptions, not that it'll be quote unquote subversive or anything like that, but to use the audience's own sort of bias against them in a certain respect. And I think at this point in time where we are in media, it's like, you know, um, I think of Nope is like a good example because everybody's like, oh, what's Jordan Peele gonna do with the subtext of like, black characters? It's a straight up it's just a sci-fi movie. Characters black. There's a little bit of like, things peppered in, but
Jordan did
like
that to himself, though. I ain't gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah, he kind of did
Yeah,
it to
that's.
himself. He
I,
did it to himself.
I feel you, but also he put himself in that hole for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't us that lumped that expectation upon him. He's the one that grabbed it for himself. But at the end of the day, you could swipe those characters out for like white characters in that movie. And it's the exact same movie. Like nothing changes. It could be Native American. It could be anything. And I think that's one of the cool things to start up. And me personally, if I go to write a story that features black characters, that's what I'm doing. I'm like I think we talked about it on like one of our chats before. Like I'm tired of struggle movies and struggle stories, and I'm looking for something different, looking for a different flavor. So I'll, when it comes down to what I want to read and the things that I want to do, that's the direction I'm going in.
What is a
Yeah,
black comic? Because you said that earlier, and I kind of was like, wait a minute, I want to know what a black comic is for you, and please be as still
I,
as possible.
I don't, because it's not like what a black comic is to me. I think it's the perception of a black comic. Just like when you say like black cinema, what is black cinema? Is it just cinema made by black people, or is it cinema like aimed at a certain audience and things like that? Is it Medea goes to space, or is it just the latest like Denzel Washington movie? What is it? And I think that's what you have to go through. I think the perception of it is that, and I don't think it's among us. I don't think it's among the community of black creators, but I think it's outside of that a quote unquote black comic is going to be dealing with some sort of like socio-political issues that's seen from a black perspective and how that informs the story. and that's just the simplicity of about what I could break it down to.
Let me say something real quick. The op alert.
Oh,
We got an op in
Apple
here.
arm going on.
Oh man,
Hey,
We
I'm
got
the op. I'm the op. This is my show, B.
It's
What
your
are you
show.
talking about?
Ooh, whose string art is this?
Hey, yo, I'm the
Um,
op. That's crazy.
no, we were just talking about what's a black comic. We were talking about black representation. Did you want to give your thoughts on the Captain America thing? We can do a quick little swing back, and then we can get back to what we're talking about.
I don't want to repeat anything that was said. It just makes me wonder if this was done intentionally for like to get some buzz later on in the like in a comic's lifespan. You know, like it's issue 13. You know, nobody's reading in issue 13. So maybe it was like this is how we can get some buzz later on. Is sort of where I'm at with it right now. But I mean, I can see it. So I'm curious what everybody else's opinions were on it. You can un-ISO me.
See, I
'cause
thought you
I'm
would.
curious.
This is why you opt because I thought you were an Armin stream, but I thought you'd have our shit up, and you know what I'm saying, just kind of looking to the side.
I have the stream up. I just can't listen to it.
I think that I think it's coded, but also I don't think it's as bad as people are saying. And if there is racism, I think it's intentional. I agree with you more so. Do I think John really wrote something that was accidentally racist, or like if it's the two options, or he wrote something that was going to kind of provoke people? Because like you said, it's issue 13. The reception for this has not been good, from what I'm seeing. Like, not that I'm super plugged in. So yeah, but I also think like, bro, he's literally from Wakanda. Like, if he literally said go back to Africa, it might be a different conversation. What do you think, Chris? Christopher. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I heard Christopher, and then I just froze. I thought you were talking to him.
Well, no, he wanted to hear our thoughts, like just around the
yeah.
horn.
I'll make it short because he wasn't here. Yeah, you're right. It was lost in translation. Fine, he didn't really mean to say it. It just came out wrong. You know, it's by accident. But maybe there's because I feel like earlier I wanted to say it, but I forgot to say it. Maybe there was some type of oversight from Marvel. Maybe because like Marvel does get involved a lot when it comes to like some of their comics where it's like, hey, I did this, and they go, okay, great, take that out, pull that out, put this in. All right, bud, and then they walk away. So
I think they were like telling him like go back, make him say go back to Wakanda. It's provocative. It gets the people going.
I mean, you just don't ever really know like the whole processes of the big two. So it is semi irresponsible, but it's gonna do the right thing because it made me read it. Actually, no, Stokes made me read it, but it would make somebody else less sane than me read it. And hate
like
reading
I had a
or
gun to your
goodbye.
head or something.
I felt like you did because it was like a whole hour prior. He was like, "Oh, have you read it?" And I was like, "No." Oh, I like it. It's pretty good. Okay.
I did like. I liked it because it didn't have the Bendis dialogue. Like any comic without the Bendis style dialogue, with the whole like self-referential thing, like I just threw in my mask a little bit. Like that's a 10 out of 10. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's what it was. There's some really interesting ideas here. I'm not you can acknowledge that, right?
There are.
And that's what I was hanging on to. But in retrospect, having read through it, yeah, it's and then Namor shows up out of nowhere. And I don't think he was named. Like it's like, bro, this is bad for this guy has an Oscar, and obviously it's a different medium. But this guy is John Ridley is extremely talented. Nobody can convince me that John Ridley can't write. You know, so this is a bit surprising. Marcus, what were your thoughts, just real quick?
Yeah, just a recap for Chris.
Lesser
Yeah,
Chris.
it's like I was kind of the same mindset Ant was too. It's like I do feel like it wasn't super intentional, like for it to be overt, but it was coded a little bit and maybe intended to like to provoke and get some mentions and some hashtags and some tweets going. So it's like yeah, it's just trying to find the context to how things are going down. And Yeah, that's a good page right there too.
It's just so much of a meme, that panel. It seems like it. I definitely think the more and more I think about it and hearing all of your opinions, I'm like, yeah, it definitely seems like they wanted a late boost and because this has definitely got to be one of their most read issues at this point.
Like, bro, look at that the center of that page. That is perfect meme material right there. Just
this is
ready
a really
to just drop your impact with 5-point black bold lettering like right on.
This is an ugly. This is a horrible illustration. Like this. Look, you tell me this guy wasn't at the Charlotte riots. This guy. that is a scary fucking. That is a scary fucking face. No, but like to me, the comment here, Black Comic Lords, they're like the visuals of blonde hair, blue eyed super soldier, American flag, putting a black king is like, and it's like yeah, but again, like that's obviously on purpose, and I don't know, like do people. And this is why I'm asking, can you tell black stories that are interesting? Obviously you can, but like that's what I would ask him. It's like, bro, y'all are putting so many different caveats into this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's damn near a minefield. Granted, they skipped and hopped right onto this fucking mine. Like it was trying to be, I think, inflammatory, but it's also like, all right, you guys understand that in a different context, this would be a great page,
Mm-hmm.
This would be a fantastic page in different contexts. So it's just like at that, what they're saying is that Captain America can never be up to T'Challa. Like that's essentially the statement here, like respectfully. And I don't know. I just feel like that's super restrictive from a creative standpoint. What do y'all think?
What if he did it without wearing the uniform? Would there be like less impact on that?
I would say yes, but it wouldn't be any. I would say yes, but it wouldn't help. Like I feel like leading into whatever you're trying to say would be better, with the uniform. I'm looking at this face. It's on both my monitors. It's like I feel like I'm getting pulled over. It's like, what's that smell? What's that smell, buddy? He's like, I got probable cause. All right, let me chill. But and especially
he's got a knife. He's got claws.
Stop resisting. No, especially the fact that this motherfucker T'Challa is like he's getting his ass kicked this entire comic book, right, Chris?
Yes.
Yes. It's like, so why would this be any different? You think after him getting his ass whooped for 11 to 12 issues, he's gonna be like, nah, fuck that. He's gonna catch his punch and like nah, bro, he's getting his ass kicked. Storm kicked his ass.
Why is he getting his ass whooped though? Why is he getting beat to the point his mask ain't on anymore? Which don't make sense because it automatically covers his face with the technology of it. Unless editorial wise, they just wanted you to see his black face get pounded in.
You got it.
In this particular battle.
He seems really self-loathing in this one, and it's a weird choice, and nobody like calls it out. It's very like, I mean, they call it that he's a liar. They call him a piece of shit. But they don't. It's not this point of like, yo, like maybe it's subtextual, but like maybe he just doesn't know how to not be king, and he just hates himself for not being king. Maybe I'm reading into it too much.
It also feels like a one-upping thing because I know that was the thing with Coates' run is like it really explored that concept of it's hard for a good man to be king. But what you saw from T'Challa, and it was like, I don't really like wholly agree with that thing, but I can understand him being in the position of facing the things that he's facing, why he's acting a certain way. So I think the story did a much better, more effective job of like showing you how it comes to that point and the ugly sacrifices you gotta do to be able to keep the peace, whatever the case may be. And then this feels like, well, I'm gonna do one better than that and just make T'Challa a piece of shit that's pissing everybody off and lying to everybody, getting his fucking teeth kicked in all the time. So yeah,
it's like every page he lies.
Literally. Bro, like no, Chris, you read this John yet? The Black Panther John Ridley?
So I only read the first couple issues when it came out. I think maybe even only issue 1. So, and that was like a couple months ago. So no, I haven't been keeping up with it. Honestly, I'd forgotten that it was still going on until this controversy happened.
It was really slow. You're not wrong. It was incredibly slow. And Yeah, and it had a lot. It had a lot of lore going on. I'm thinking back to like the whole like representation in media. I found like I think it also goes back to like you can't win. Like until a certain regard, you can't win. Like me and Christopher are working on a series, and we're gonna have the main character be a black queer individual. And I'm just thinking like there are gonna be people that don't like that. They're gonna be like, oh, the media is like trying to emasculate us. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to they're trying to hold us down. Why can't he be with a beautiful black woman? He's gonna be with a beautiful black woman, a beautiful black man, you know, some other stuff, you know. But the reality is that black people be queer, bro. Like it's not the media telling you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, limp wrist. Like, so it's just so weird that y'all are y'all are so resistant to this. Like, I just don't understand like such a pushback from just things that are real. You know what I'm saying? Media does not invent gayness. Like, that was a thing already. You know what I mean?
You're gonna have those biases, like no matter what you do. So
Yeah.
as we've been saying it for months, just worry about your target audience, and then just those people will, they'll at least hold you up. The rest of them will follow suit. Maybe they'll hate watch, maybe they'll hate buy, and but you have a target audience of people to serve the stuff to. So this is where it's at, and that's kind of where John Ridley was at, I guess. I don't know who's his audience, because Marvel fans are a little bit spicy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know that Marvel fans definitely, once they see it, it's going straight onto Twitter and people are going to be talking about it. But yeah, exactly. You just have to hit your target audience as hard as possible. Like, really just serve them as much and give them exactly what they want. You know, if that's your strategy, and you're not trying to go wide with it, and you're trying to really go deep with one group of people, like just get as much as you can. Just chase the bag.
Chris, I'm glad you're here, because I could get that confirmation. You are doing that femboy character for Control Z3, right?
Control. So maybe in the prequel, Control Z 3 and 4 are already written, already hard at work, and it's a mini series. We can't fit in too many any characters. Like, everyone that's in the story we've seen already, basically by issue 2. But I got
so
you.
You could promise me a prequel.
I'm promising you a prequel, and I'm promising you your femboy character.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you said femboy? I thought you said fanboy.
Fanboy? You wanted to be in the comic?
It makes sense. That's what I thought. No, but it just makes sense. It's sci-fi. Like, it's the future. Like, you see, like, I would think a lot of people would like the things we look at and are like that are newer ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like being outwardly LGBT. You know what I'm saying? Being non-binary and stuff like that. That would certainly be the case in like a Matrix-esque. You can make your own avatar in this, right?
Right.
Yeah, depending on your level in the server, then yeah, like some people, if you're in the lowest server where most people are, you actually can't edit the surroundings that you or anything about yourself. And so that's part of one of the characters in Control Z, Puma. He's like 15 and he's actually 215 because they've been in cyberspace for 200 years, but he hasn't been able to age himself up because he doesn't have that permission yet. He doesn't have those permissions being from the lowest server. But yeah, and if you do have those permissions, you can be anything. You can wear anything. Anything can be like, you can have armor on, you could have no clothes on, like you could be any gender.
You're gonna have a lot of colored hair. You're gonna have a lot of dyed hair and shaved hair, bro. Come on, bro. Like it's gonna be a lot of stuff. So it only makes sense. Also, don't try to plug your comic on my show, bro. Relax.
Yo, Luigi,
I'm Mario today.
Hey, can you guys keep it down? I'm trying to back Control Z right now. Just hold on.
Hey.
Nah, man, that's great, and I'm very happy for Chris. So I will pull it up, I guess.
Appreciated. Let's take a look at Control Z, yo. This is a campaign that we've been working on for a while. This is a book that I've been working on since 2021.
Really?
Yeah, with Ricardo and Marcos. So I'm really excited that everyone has been enjoying it, and hey, we're at 420 81. So
it just went up.
Roll some.
That's oh shit.
I told you.
Live.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, you know me.
We've got the
But-
best guest in the business. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
best guess. I appreciate
Only
that.
because there's a prequel with my name on it later.
Yeah, I got you. Prequel will be first. The prequel is. Well, we'll talk about the prequel eventually. We'll get to that. We still have so much to get to.
Not on this
Um,
stream.
Yeah, not on this stream. We'll get to it eventually.
You got
Next
about another
stream.
20 seconds.
Another 20 seconds of promo. Well, yo, this is my show. This is
our
my
show.
show.
This is my StreamYard.
No,
This is my-
but yeah, anyone can check out Control Z. We're live until the 8th. We just launched on Monday.
nice
and
thigh gap there.
Nice thigh gap with our girl Idolin. And this is actually an interesting. We were mentioning it earlier about black comics. So the main character in this is black, and it's not. I don't market this as a black comic though, because characters can just be what they are. You know what I mean? But it's definitely interesting. It's definitely an interesting conversation to have when we're talking about, like, you mentioned Stokes, like, so can Captain America never be up T'Challa now? Like, when we're talking about representation in comics, it's like at what point does it become restrictive? Thinking about LGBT, like queer blackness being shown in the media, like, is that it? Like, when is that, like, when are any of these things being prohibited by, like, our want for a certain type of representation instead of all representation in that and what that entails? But yeah, Control Z, we're up until the 8th. Definitely check it out. And everyone that's watching, we're getting really close to our second stretch goal, which we'll announce once we hit 5,000.
You said what? The 28th? What did you say?
No,
No, the
8th of February.
But it says 26 days. Am I tweaking?
Yes.
Okay, I'm tweaking. Okay, I had a 4-hour shift. I had a 10-hour shift today, and I had an interview before this, so I am very tired. Very impressive comic. All right, let's get this shit off the screen. Now I don't know, bro. This might be the 10K jump, bro. It's looking pretty good.
We're getting there. We're climbing up every day. Hopefully, we'll make it close to 5K by Monday, and on our way to 5 figs. We'll become 5-figure Moses, hopefully, but still a long way to go.
Yeah,
be $800 Chris.
800.
That's
No.
I'm starting really low.
You know what, bro? It's not about you just burned yourself, and I'm trying to recuperate, but I don't know if I can. I think something that our friend Ant brought up was like, how come there's this moment? I'm pulling this shit up right now. Go ahead and say it. L host. L Wi-Fi. Goddamn. All right, no, let's pull it.
I mean, it's implied you're Luigi B. That's why you have the L.
Marcus, stay out of it. I got nothing to do with it.
Everybody was so happy you weren't here, bro. Mostly me. And so I guess they were fighting. He says, I yield. He's like, I trust you. If you say this is how it is, that's how it has to be. And why couldn't this Captain America do the same thing? Now, I'm curious if this is literally the same Captain America. Like, is this the 616 same continuity?
Yep.
I'm looking at this art. This art is absolutely gorgeous. That's a great image. I don't like reading mainstream comics for entertainment, but I do like reading it just to kind of see, like, the detail, like what's the high, like what's the ceiling. And this looks fantastic. And I think it's a great moment, and her silence says so much. I think this is a fantastic page.
Stokes, he told T'Challa the exact same thing.
But then he beat the shot of him.
So there's a parallel here that we're not connecting.
What?
He literally told him about twice that he trusted him.
Yeah.
And had told him that whatever it is going on,
I see what you're saying.
I'm right behind you.
You're implying that he stopped trusting him because he lied multiple times.
And yes, and in this comic, from what I was reading earlier, I think someone said that, like, Carol had done some, like, fucked up shit, to where maybe she should have, like, got the beats, but It's
Color,
spicy. I don't know.
I mean, again, is it so weird that the 80-year-old man would like beat up a black guy, but not a woman necessarily? I don't know. It's like, what are we? How angular are we about to get here? You know,
I
what I'm
think
saying?
he'd be hard pressed to beat up Carol anyway. So maybe he just like, oh yeah, I trust you because he didn't want to get fucking rode out there. So
I think I could
get folded up in an iceberg.
I think I could beat up this T'Challa. I ain't gonna lie. He was getting beat up by everybody. I think Shuri whooped his ass at one point. It's insane how emasculated he is.
He ran. It was when the white ninjas came up and like attacked him, and he had that like full page put on his outfit. He was posed up. He was like, "I'll take care of them." And then like the very next page is him taking a full flip kick.
one of his enemies like killed themselves during the battle. That's the only way.
Oh
That's
my
the only
god!
way.
Why did you remind me that? I was hot because I was like, all right, now what's gonna happen next? This man was like, huh, I'm done beating your ass. I fell on my sword. Like what? Literally word for word, Marcus. I'm done with this fight. I'm finished.
So he committed seppuku like right there because
yes. In the middle of T'Challa's ass.
He was so disgraced and disappointed with T'Challa getting his ass beat. He had to take it to
He turned to him and said, "Damn, cuz you need to win one of these. Here, I got you. For Wakanda."
Yeah, dub right here. There we go.
He felt so bad. He's like, I'm embarrassed. He's like, I'm embarrassed for you.
I can't. Look, I was fighting sleep the whole time because it took so long to even get there. And I had to keep looking back, like, am I seeing that? That's not like a dream sequence of my own, right? He just died.
Man, y'all about to make me go read this fucking comic.
Read it, bro. It's hilarious. Like it's unironically hilarious. Oh, no, it is yeah. Oh, unironically. It's ironically hilarious for us. I think it was unironically hilarious. Yeah, okay, yeah, cool. I got it.
It could be both at the same time as fucking Schrodinger's T'Challa.
I just want to know why. Like, I don't want to know why. If this was a comic book made to emasculate T'Challa, good job, 10 out of 10. Like, if that was the goal, and I don't even like saying words like that, like cuckolded. I don't like saying that kind of stuff. But I'm like, yo, the Hope Teps might be spitting with this one. I don't know, especially because you just got done with Black Panther 2, and it's like
he needs a dove.
He's peaking, like like exactly. I didn't want to. I didn't want to say it, but yes, T'Challa needs a dub, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, like how beat down do we need this character, dog? Is it no? Oh, okay. So Solomon from 12 Years a Slave, like he just got the shit beat out of him for like 2.5 hours.
Damn.
Does John really just like torturing his characters? He got both of his characters got their ass whooped.
Yeah, but that's like a was it a best-selling novel back in the day?
I wouldn't there.
So I mean, it's from the book, but yes.
What you had Uncle Ruckus writing this shit? Like, what the fuck?
And Captain America told him he better get his black ass back to Wakanda. They gonna put his foot up his head.
We're gonna whoop your butt.
No, this is why I don't read a lot of mainstream comics. I'm not gonna cap. All right, what's the final verdict? Is Captain America racist in this?
I'm gonna say emphatically, yeah. They want us to at the very least feel like he's a little bit racist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he ain't out there burning crosses, but he ain't voting for Barack either.
He don't have a Black Lives Matter sticker on his car. Like we know that. He's
the type to tell you like I agree with how you feel, but I have a problem with the way you're doing things. he's that level on it.
I don't want them touching me.
This tin is illegal, right?
You got a permit for selling these comics? Okay,
all right.
I really
Captain Karen, is that what we're gonna start calling?
Captain Karen.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anybody else have anything else to say about the whole Captain America thing?
This is why it's important for basically writers and more importantly editors to be in touch with what they're doing and like how things can be received one way or another. That's my takeaway from it. Do your research on the characters. You know, make sure that you know your audience and know them well. And this has also been my problem with like mainstream comics too. It's like after a while, everything starts feeling like somebody's fan fiction. Like you're not really reading Black Panther anymore. You're reading somebody's fanfic of Black Panther, and it's not other than tangential things like related to what you know and what is really the common threads and the cores of the characters. And I think it's just it's a product of writers trying to make their mark on something rather than doing something within the continuity and the proper storytelling methods. You know, nobody just wants to have their run come out anymore and be read and enjoyed and put away in the box anymore. They want people talking, and I think this is the situation we're looking at right now.
I ain't got nothing to say.
What about you, Chris? You got anything else?
Christmas done.
No, I think that was really well said by Marcus. Yeah, I mean, let's. I mean, we just got to get better mainstream comics. Honestly, you know, we need to level up the mainstream, or honestly, just like keep reading indie. Honestly, at this point, it's like, why do we even care? Just like indie.
Read Control Z. Just
read
keep reading
Control Z.
Control
Just
Z.
like, why? You know, if you have a problem with it, just read Control Z. Honestly,
read great titles like Control Z and The Last Herald and Intrusive Thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
They got fanboys coming up, man. It's good.
I mean, there you go, and it's this is the future. You know what I mean? Mainstream comics are sort of are dying, and not even sort of. They're having a hard time. I'm not going to say they're dying, but they're having a hard time. And manga and indie comics are the future, right? They're the now and in the future. We're in the middle of an indie renaissance, and it's only going to get bigger and better from here. So
yeah,
I think if this is just another smoke signal to everyone that's reading Marvel comics and DC comics that there's other stuff for you, and to go check it out and support some indie people.
Hell yeah, man. Y'all want to keep going for like another 20, 30 minutes?
Sure.
I'm trying to see what my appetite doing right now. I can go for it.
Okay, cool. Because we know we're trying to get them watch hours, baby. So, at one point on this channel, we're gonna do a goat rapper. We're gonna do a goat rapper kind of bracket, and I'm really excited about that. So, my question: you should follow that guy we'll put the descriptions in there. We have some wonderful guests here. We got Christopher, great guest, Marcus, great guest, Chris, L guest.
W host. W host.
Not those today, buddy. So I had this question. I was like, I don't know. So I really want to make it a really comprehensive list. So I had who do you think is who is an underrated GOAT rapper? Like who you think is in contention? Don't say Jay-Z. Like we are, like no Jay-Z or Nas. Who's like the sixth or seventh person on the list? I said KRS-One. I think he's been good for 20 plus years, damn near 30 at this point. No, 30 plus years. No, he's been fantastic. I think Big Boy, one of the best groups. I think he's as good as Andre 3000. Frankly, I do think he is on that level. But he's also he's successful as a solo artist. Pusha T has been really good for like 20 plus years. Do y'all have any additions to add to the list that you're thinking of?
Well, you said underrated, and then you named 3 non-underrated people.
I said in the greatest rapper of all time conversation.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Jay
Electronica.
That's what somebody said.
Hands down. I'm surprised I didn't say it. When did you post this? Did I miss it? 6:58. What the hell was I doing? Oh, I was reading that damn comic. So you distracted me so you could post something hot that I want to be involved in. I see it.
What do you think, Marcus?
This is a tough one for me. It's actually something I've been kind of thinking about a little bit as I've been reviewing some of my listens and music. The one stands out to me that I would probably put in and this could just be a lot of personal preference, is Killer Mike. I don't think Killer Mike ever gets enough flowers for being
He's good.
what 2 decades in now plus some, and just being consistent. Like he just don't ever miss, like not once, not a single verse.
No.
He may not pop up at the top of people's minds as a lyricist like that, but like when I'll always look at the context and like how he layers his lyrics and his songs come through and what he's trying to accomplish.
I think that's
That's
also,
my
you know,
pick.
I think interesting enough, you look like Big Boy and Killer Mike, they kind of had opposite
Yeah.
trajectories. And because now Killer Mike is in a group. I would probably disagree with you. In this context, he's underrated. I would disagree with you in general because I feel like what's that shit called? Run the Jewels. I feel
Run
like
the
that's
Jewels. Run the Jewels is really common.
I feel like it's a huge kind of group, and I feel like they do get. I think they get a lot of love. But in terms of him being, in terms of like longevity, I do think he is underrated.
Yeah, I think it was who was it? Kendrick that said the line like, you know, everybody said they missed when hip hop was rapping, but if he did, Killer Mike would be platinum. That's the same way.
Killer Mike is a beast, bro. Chris, you got somebody?
That's not like underrated. That's like not 1, 2, or 3, like somewhere in like the middle of the pack.
Yeah,
Probably
somebody who like you rarely see as number one. Like
Probably like Most Def probably would be my answer.
Okay.
But I'm like, who would anybody mention him on the thread? I'm sure he's probably mentioned a couple times.
No.
Well, one of my picks is already Big Boy is like one of my picks too. Like Big Boy and Killer Mike about like right there for me. I think Most Def probably gets a fair amount of like nod as like being one to go MCs. So I don't know if
But
I-
as one, as like number one though.
Not as number one, but probably I see him in a lot of people's top 5 lists.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Most Def is I don't think he has the longevity of somebody like Pusha T, you know, like talking about Karis. Like I'm looking at it, so I'm gonna say it. Like, you know, Big Boy, you know, Pusha T, we have it up there. Like Pusha T was popping like the early 90s, mid 90s. I think Most Def was like early 2000s.
No, he was 90s.
Really? All right.
Yeah. Black Star came out in 90s.
No, go further.
But even Most Def before that, then, yeah.
Because when they did that sound bombing mixtape in like the late 90s, like that was hot.
94, but I will say he was not as I don't think he was as prolific. Like he's definitely got the like I don't have a favorite Most Def album, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he has the body of work, I would say, to be in that GOAT conversation, you know, that I think that's what Big Boy. I think Big Boy has a lot of great albums. Could be wrong. Could definitely listen up to the Most Def for sure.
I feel the same. It's like I feel like I put Most Def in like that category of like Cudi and guys like that, like individual songs and things like that. I really enjoy of them, but like as far as putting a whole album together, like making a whole piece, I haven't seen like a whole lot from them. Like probably my favorite Most album is New Danger, just because of how different it was at the time. And like I remember people shitting on it back in the day, but now you kind of go back and listen to it, and it's like, okay, like, you know, I think the modern ear is a lot more kind to it than we were at the time when it came out, and it's doing a lot of something different.
I must be different because I love Black on Both Sides.
Yeah, I mean, I love Black on Both Sides. So I was making that shit all the time.
What's the
I still listen to it, but that's like his best album. Period. Is that
Yeah.
my
I like the
personal
ecstatic. Actually, I kind of lied through my teeth. I like the ecstatic a lot. It's not on streaming, so maybe that's why it escaped me.
Did anybody say Currency in there?
No, I don't think they did.
You haven't heard Currency.
I was very early looking at.
I don't think they should either.
Oh, yeah, okay. Currency was the dude. He was the
GOAT?
dude. No, not the GOAT, but he's super underrated.
That's what we're talking. We're talking. We're not.
talking
You keep talking about
not just
underrated.
purely underrated, but GOAT.
We're talking about the GOAT.
Underrated.
Like
Oh,
who's
I'm reading the tweet and then I'm thinking about what you're saying. My bad.
Sneaky Goats.
See,
Sneaky.
I am.
and then
GOAT?
like I'll go through some examples. Some motherfucker said MF Doom. I ain't mad. This guy
I
said
say that.
stop.
I said that. MF Doom is up there.
KRS-One Black. Then what the fuck? This got to be an old head.
It
Like,
is.
I said KRS-One. Like what the? What did I say? I
Stop.
said
Hey,
big
watch
boy.
how you speak on the old heads, man.
Nah,
Hey,
fuck
I'm-
them.
I'm further up there than I look at.
Fuck them. Pharaoh Munch, bro. Do people actually listen to Pharaoh Munch, bro? I've only heard him. I only heard him in the context of being underrated. And if that's the case, you are not underrated. And then Black Thought is fire. I ain't gonna lie. He's not the GOAT. Like, there's no fucking
Oh
way.
come on! Don't do
Black
him like
Thought?
that.
But
I put him
again,
up
we're talking
there.
about solo. We have to do solo albums. Like, I think that's why Andre 3000. If Andre 3000 dropped like 3 great albums back to back to back, like if even released 1 great album, I feel like his GOAT consideration would shoot up because it is hard to make. It is hard to make a solo album, you know. So I do think, like, I don't know, has Black Thought made a solo album?
Yeah, he made one a couple years ago.
Okay, listen, like I said, I'm not hating. Motherfucker said Rock came, I ain't mad. KRS-One.
Yankovic, the fuck?
Yeah, I saw that one.
A lot. Oh yeah. Luke said Most Def. Method Man, I think is an underrated. GOAT candidate. MF Doom. I don't know who this is.
Can we go back to the argument about Ghostface versus Method Man then?
I'm picking Method Man every time.
Well, that's funny because when Ghostface's lawyer was in here, he was like, "Oh, Ghostface is the best Wu-Tang member of all time."
Nah,
His lawyer said that.
Stokes said that.
I'm putting what I said. What?
You said that Ghostface was the best Wu-Tang member.
I don't think I said it on the stream.
Yeah, when Ghostface's no, it wasn't in a stream. It was in a space when his
You ain't got no
lawyer
proof, there,
came in.
motherfucker.
See that shit?
You ain't got no proof. I
See
mean,
that shit?
I would say Method Man. Like I would say ODB would better. I don't know. In Wu-Tang, I would say the best member was probably like Method Man, or I guess I could say Ghostface. But I mean, I think he's definitely good. Definitely good.
No love for RZA, man. No, not even.
RZA's not a good rapper. I ain't gonna
No,
lie. He is not.
I enjoy RZA. I say that if I was a rapper and I was looking for a feature, yeah, it would probably be Ghosts.
You got to make the beat, RZA. You got to make the beat to show up on this motherfucker, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Also, I thought we could do a quick little ranking, quick little DCEU ranking, real quick. What you guys think?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Fuck, man.
This is easy.
Go ahead,
Yo.
classic
This is
street,
easy.
bro.
This is easy, yo. This is the easiest list.
No,
ever. I'll
right.
tell you
No,
now.
exactly.
There's only
Okay, yeah.
only
So we're
one
not
tier.
gonna this is not gonna be like a long thing.
I'm gonna be hot. Let's get it.
This is
Let's start
How many
from the-
movies are here? Is this 10 movies?
One to yeah. I'm curious if everything is here. I'm curious if everything. We're gonna do left to
Like
right.
14 movies.
Like I
They're
say, we're
all
not trying to
trash.
be all night.
No, there's more.
All right, let's do it.
The Batman.
Aquaman,
Trash.
No.
not
Trash.
You think
Worse
this is
than
trash?
No.
Awful. No.
Aquaman, I'll put an I.
I go higher. He's the very first $1 billion movie for DC, and
So
it
I didn't
had
go see it on the theater, but I did watch it on a plane trip one time. I was like, okay,
Same.
I was thoroughly entertained for that plane ride. I wouldn't love to pay money to go see it.
How do we feel
if it's
about
on
these tier
TV, I'll
names?
watch it.
they're
How do we
okay.
feel about these tier names? Gas, fire, eye, mid, trash.
I hate Mid so much. I love it.
I'm gonna make a quick adjustment right here.
Hey, whoa.
That's like unnecessary shade.
Hater.
I didn't see it. So who saw Aquaman?
I did, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
No,
All right, Christopher, what is it?
it's gonna have to go up to like fire. I'll do fire.
You think it's fire?
I liked it. I liked it.
Fire.
Look, Black Manta was straight. Aquaman was straight. I mean, what more can you do with? The last time that Aquaman was ever like relevant was like Super Friends, or was it Super Friends? So it was a big step up. It was good. I'm not letting you put it, because if you do it, Moses, everything will be in trash because you.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's an average. It's an average. So
Fine,
All
okay,
right,
you know
so
what,
Chris,
put it in.
Chris.
All right, then.
No. So Christopher, what is your ranking?
Fire. Well, fire.
Fire. Okay, Marcus, what are you saying?
All right.
All right, Chris.
But
what are you
shouldn't
saying?
I technically be mid because that's the midpoint?
No.
Nah,
We're
people's
black.
Oh,
mid
that's how we
movies, man.
redefine what mid really
Mid
means.
and
Now
middle
it's
are
like,
not the same thing. People got to understand this. It's a delicate. Gas is like, yo, this shit fire, bro. You know what I'm saying? This shit.
but shouldn't gas be below fire because you gotta get to the
No,
gas and then
stop.
it ignites
I'm
the fire?
answering your question. Gas, you know what I'm saying? Gas is like reading that intrusive thoughts, you know what I'm saying? While you getting a back massage. It's just gas. There's
That's
nothing else
mid.
like it.
That's mid.
Fire is like, you know what I'm saying? You reading that Saturn effect, like it's not as good as intrusive thoughts, but it's like, I'm not gonna do this the whole time. Basically, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like to me, mid is like below average. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like
Passable, basically.
passable,
Like a
but it's
C.
almost like certain movies. It's a hard thing to aspire, but I'd rather would you rather have a movie with good parts? Like if a movie has nothing good to say about it, or if it's nothing remarkable, it's just mid. Because an all right movie can have a lot. If an all right movie can have a lot of like
Decent
like
moments.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And
yeah.
you're like, all right, that was all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? He said the list. Watch out. Look. We need to watch ours, baby. We trying to get monetized, baby. All right. So Chris said it's trash. And I think it just equals out the all right. I ain't gonna
That's
lie.
fair.
If I'm
a
the
little high.
tiebreaker.
It's a little high.
Listen, we got a lot of movies to get to. Batman vs Superman.
The first one or second one?
The
Or like theatrical or direct.
Oh, trash.
Trash.
Drop
Trash.
it. Drop
Worse
it.
than trash.
Drop it.
nobody does have anybody have this higher than like trash.
I would
There's a better
say
version over there.
I would say it's mid.
Okay, so one mid. I'm saying trash. Christopher, what are you saying?
Trash.
Chris, what do you say?
Trash.
This is literally one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life.
It's bad.
This shit is nah. I wish there was another tier below this bitch. Because this shit is garbage. This shit was like a watch. This shit was like a migraine. Like just watching this bitch. Birds of Prey. This is gonna be interesting.
I haven't even watched it, so I couldn't even tell you.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna say fire.
Yo, he
I
has a
don't feel
gas
right.
pack in him right now.
Well, okay, Christopher, what you saying? Fire, I mid.
Move it off the list. He
No.
doesn't.
All right, if
Put that shit under the list.
Christopher ain't voting, so I'm gonna say fire. That's what we're gonna
Hell,
leave it
Chris, help me.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I
The
Mark,
fuck
you
is-
haven't seen it.
trash.
It's trash. Put it back down there.
I wish
Everybody that I
That
trust
makes
says
me
it trash, and it looked trash to me, so I didn't.
It's
Yeah.
man.
That's
it's mid, so then it's all right. What the
And
fuck?
I got HBO.
No, I
Max.
said
I
trash,
don't even want to watch
trash.
it for free.
Don't
All right.
even.
If I think it's fire, you think it's trash, and I
Wait.
would say,
Are you being for real?
Well, I thought it was all right.
Really?
You thought it was I or you thought it was fire?
Oh, I thought. Well, I'm like it's like in the middle perfectly, but like I don't know. I just thought like I like the editing. I like the style. It's like a Guy Ritchie movie. I thought the action was pretty good. I thought the characters were fun. I thought the plot made sense. Like I'm just wondering like what was in it that was so bad that it.
What did
was
Richard say? He said gas is like when shit is fire.
don't talk about Richard. Richard doesn't exist right
Arvin's
now.
saying fire. No, there were a lot of characters that were judged to be in nothing. Like Cassandra Cain was in the movie. She's one of the greatest bat female in Batman's like little Robin list.
And they did a dirty.
She
super dirty.
got done dirty. Roman Sionis was, I don't even know what that even was. Like,
Yeah, she was kind of like they kind of had her kind of doing not much. And I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That is wifey number 4. That's my baby, and she was kind of just
Number
around.
4. Who's number 3?
Charlize Theron.
new tier
That's
list.
2.
Who the fuck did we say last time? I know number 1 was Marissa Tomei.
No, that's
Oh no.
You don't have to
What
get
old girl? Elaine from Seinfeld.
Oh, Julia Louise Dreyfus.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Julia
Elaine
Schiffer.
from
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wifey.
But no, just no, nada. It was a Harley Quinn movie in a Birds of Prey movie third act. No,
All right.
I guess
so,
I gotta do a trash-a-thon this week.
You didn't even have,
Black
like, all
Panther
the Birds
and
of
watching
Prey.
this.
What Mike?
no, you didn't have all the Birds of Prey in there because you were missing Barbara.
See, you see me bringing in a lot of like baggage from the comic books. That's fine. I didn't read the Birds of Prey comic book. I'm gonna say all right. I'm gonna say all right with that. Between the two, we're gonna split the difference.
Wait, yo, Stokes. Okay, well, who's number 1 on your list? Who's wifey number 1 again?
Marissa Tomei.
Damn. Damn, that's crazy.
I told you a
And
milk
then-
merchant.
Florence Pugh. I need to start naming some black women. Zoe Kravitz is wifey number 5, and then back to your scheduled programming. Florence Pugh is wifey number 6.
you like, I don't know, we share similar taste in women like that.
And then you chose
It
Zoe
was all about me.
Kravitz too.
I was thought of the first black woman I could find, to be honest. But like, it's not my fault. We need some more. We need to highlight. We need to keep making black comic book characters with female characters, so we can get some more black women that are actors that blow up. So I can sing for them.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
It's a strong lineup. Yeah. All baddies. Josh Whedon Justice League. This is going to be interesting. Josh Whedon Justice League.
Trash.
Okay,
I was literally mad I spent money to see that.
I'm being outvoted, so
I had nothing else to do.
I ain't gonna argue for fucking the Whedon cut. Damn it. Okay, Man of Steel. I'm gonna say mid.
I'm gonna say I on that.
I'm gonna say I too.
I think it's an I film.
Fire.
I'm not mad with Fire. I think honestly, if every DC movie hit the same as Man of Steel, we would not be having the same conversation.
Yeah.
We'd be like, yo, fucking DC is kind of dope, because like honestly, most Marvel movies are about that level,
Yeah.
or even maybe some are even worse.
I don't want to. I mean, to me, the problem I have with Man of Steel is the story doesn't really make sense. It like the acts are super disjointed. Like it's like the first there's no through line, and there's so much stupid shit. Like when he just like gets eaten by the tornado, it's like I'm just gonna chill here and just let this tornado eat me.
Dude,
I don't know. It's a lot of goofy shit.
Speaking of this, like anybody actually remember how Zod and his crew got to Earth? I can't remember for the life of me. Like, and that speaks to this disjointedness. Like I think about that movie as like the origin part and then the action part. Like towards the end, third act, I can't remember anything that was going on in the second act of that.
Oh, I do. It was remember when they were jailed, and they got sent to the Phantom Zone. They ended up losing power in their ship, so that it broke all their like constraints. So they system engineered it and just started flying randomly in space, and then they ended up coming to Earth.
I think
that's
is
one in an impossible chance, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
think I is actually perfect.
Yeah,
because this is okay. So this is why I don't think this movie is mid, because it has a lot of great moments. Like this is a perfect example of what an alright movie is versus a mid movie. Shazam. I'm gonna say I don't like doing the comparative thing, but like Shazam is better than all these movies. I'm gonna say fire.
I would say gas because it's better than all these movies by.
We're not doing relative. We're not doing relative though.
Even without that, I would still say it was a gas movie. Like I'm excited to go see the next one, and I think if Black Adam was as good as this movie, that's what's missing from this list. Black Adam.
Yeah, I mean I ain't see that shit. Who saw Black Adam?
I saw Black Adam.
Mid or what is it? What would you give real quick?
It's mid. That's a mid movie.
It's mid.
Christopher's mid. Have y'all seen Shazam?
I have. It's right on the edge of Fire and I to me. It's like waffling. So if you want to put it in Fire, I feel like it's perfectly acceptable to happen in Fire.
Christopher, what do you think?
Say it's more Fire than I.
It's mid.
Mid.
All right. Let me tie this up. Hold on a second. So we have one mid, one eye, one gas, one fire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip a coin.
Flip a coin.
Hey, who said? Hey, Chris, call heads or tails?
Tails. It should just be I though, because it averages like 3
heads. so I'm gonna say fire. I don't know. Yeah, no, wait. Yeah, fuck it, fire. I mean, it's not that serious.
Yeah. I think Fire is a good spot. I am partially biased and like comparing it to the other ones by putting in gas. I don't think it's like the best movie ever, but I think it's enjoyable, and like the
there's
Shazam
no way you
one
would call this movie gas in any other context. I don't even think you would call it fire in any other context. But that's fine.
I mean, if we're doing a big list of everything, no, I think I'd probably put it in like if it's a Fire is just like a 4 out of 5. I would say yeah, it gets a 4 out of 5.
All right, so we're not doing. I haven't seen Peacemaker. Suicide Squad. Do I even have to like? Do we have to? Do we have to deliberate?
Which,
I don't
Corroborate?
think so.
which one is that one?
Hot
first
flaming
one.
garbage.
Uh,
Ain't even
Jared
garbage. It's
Leto.
like it's the juice, like that is dripping from the garbage.
Will
Let's-
Smith.
let's do all right because
Fuck no.
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 no. Amanda Waller was cool as hell in that movie. She saved it.
What?
Yeah, I
No.
love Amanda Waller.
You can fucking vote. All right, Chris. What is this?
It's trash. It's
Yeah, you're
It's
overruled.
trash.
See that shit?
The jury has spoken. That's how court works, right? Dude, Amanda Waller was like not in that movie enough. She's not even the main. She is one of 12 characters in this movie. Like she's not
Yes.
enough.
But
Not
when she was
And there's-
on screen,
and there's-
she was good.
And there's two other things on this list where she was better than she was in that particular movie. So like,
Which one? Oh,
in
Don't spoil it,
The
don't
Suicide Squad and Peacemaker.
don't what?
That's not a spoiler. She listed.
Don't spoil the tier list.
Okay, fine.
Wonder Woman.
I'm gonna say.
It's a tough one. Ooh.
I'm gonna say all right.
fire.
I think I'm okay with calling it fire if we're thinking relative, but it's probably like top of you know, like better than Man of Steel, but like definitely not better than Shazam.
Yeah, that
Actually,
feels right. It's actually I'll rate it right on par with Man of Steel. So I feels right to me too.
I think we were generous with Shazam, so I feel like we kind of have to like kind of work backwards.
Generous.
We're
We
being
were
generous.
calling
and
this
making it
movie calling Shazam fire was definitely generous.
Yeah.
That's a damn stimulus package. Okay. Bro, I hope we don't have to think about this one too hard.
No. Mm-mm. Just drop it.
That's
we
it.
ain't
Anybody
got to
else
speak
gonna
on
say?
it. All right, on to the next one. What's next?
I don't want to get here quite. I don't want to get here quite yet. I want to say this one for last. Say this two for last. Batman vs Superman director's cut. I'm gonna say mid.
Yeah, I didn't actually see that one on there at first. So I was arguing for mid for Batman v Superman, but I was actually thinking about the director's cut. So I'll vote mid too.
What do you think, Chris?
I haven't seen the director's cut. I've only seen the original.
What do you think, Christopher?
Fire. Jive
Zero
ass,
competition.
jive
hell?
ass turkeys, man.
What do you mean, bro? That's literally it's mid is a 2. So we have 2 votes for mid. 8 divided by 15. Nah, you're right. It's all right. You're
Never
right.
do a division.
Well, because it's a rating system. It's 1 through 5. So 2 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 4. No, it's 7 out of 15. Nah, it's mid. it's 7 out of 15. It's mid. What was so good about this like this director's cut?
It added a lot more reasoning as to why people were like against Superman. Like because in the first cut, shit was all cut out. So all it looked like was I'm being framed for something I ain't do. What was me? But in the actual version, it was like, no, there's actual things going on behind the scenes as to what's to actually build upon it. So it was a better movie. And I really love Ben Affleck as Batman. That's just me.
Okay.
I think we get a little bit more of them in the director's cut too. Like if Batman didn't work and work, well, he didn't work like a lot, but yeah, he basically saved that movie from being like super hot dookie butter. So
I agree
right.
with that.
What about Peacemaker? I haven't
gas.
seen it.
I
I haven't seen it.
Anybody
Am
seen
I
it?
the only one that's seen Peacemaker?
Yeah, you get to rank it.
All right, Peacemaker is gas. It's gas.
Fuck.
Wow.
Fuck.
I heard it was good.
Fuck.
When you get by the time you get done with Peacemaker, you're like, goddamn, like that's some fulfilling shit. Like it's.
I hate the opening.
The opening is so ridiculous. I slowly learned to love it a little bit, but but I think like once you look back on it, especially like taking like a character like Peacemaker and being able to make like one of the best streaming shows of the year with it is like that's miracle work and stuff right there. So man, respect for it.
We got 10 people. Hey. All right. I famously made a thread about why this movie isn't that good. And somebody was like, all this it was a bunch of tweets, and he was like, all this ungodly effort for what? I was like, ungodly effort, bro. I just made a tweet. I just made a series of tweets. If I had to pick, I'm picking mid.
Yeah, this is definitely just like a quintessential mid movie. I mean, I could see somebody saying it's but the fact that so many people loved it was crazy to me.
I would
Yeah,
say
like
it's for me. Yeah.
I think. What do you think, Christopher?
It gave you Peacemaker, so it must be fire.
Well, it's like Peacemaker does what the Suicide Squad is trying to do, but way more effectively with like a more contained story. So it's like
logic
James
doesn't
Gunn
make any sense.
learned all his
You
lessons.
wouldn't have Peacemaker without it.
So we wouldn't have like Infinity War without Thor Dark World. Is that gas? Because it doesn't make
it's gas for like 20
can't
minutes.
retroactively improve it.
For 20 minutes, it is gas.
That blunt got Ajax cleaner in it. It is not gas.
For a little bit.
I think the pacing in this movie is fucked. I think the kind of the stylistic things he adds feel very tacked on. It feels like this movie was an afterthought. The best part of this movie was the opening, which they stole from Deadpool 2. It feels like this movie, like if you made this movie in a vacuum, this movie is only great relative to the first Suicide Squad movie, and it has so many of the other problems. Amanda Waller is still an idiot. She's an idiot. Like she doesn't make any smart decision in this movie. Like, there's this moment where they're like, "Can Weasel swim?" And then it's like, Amanda Waller is the type of character that would
Don't
know
you have
this
a
sort of thing.
dossier? Like,
Yeah. They're in a folder. There's not like a vanilla folder like with all this information in there. So I feel like they messed that up. I didn't think the movie was that funny, and they really like at a certain point the movie is like Rick Flag fighting Peacemaker.
mm-hmm.
And it's just like, this is not a Suicide Squad movie. A Suicide Squad movie is a bunch of supervillains doing cool shit. This is like two motherfuckers. I can go to a bar and see this. And then a starfish villain is like, that's a villain for like a Flash movie or like a Peacemaker. You don't do this for the Suicide Squad. Like they're supposed to be doing like ops missions. This and then it's in Cuba. Like we're gonna try to kill this thing, and then
Cuba,
Amanda Waller's
real
like
Cuba for political reasons.
Basically, but South America. So vis-a-vis next to America, and it's like, yo, we can kill this starfish thing while we're here. It's like, no, get back. It's like Amanda Waller's a fucking idiot. Like she's dumb as hell. Mid. This is the one. I don't want to be the first person to say anything.
If this movie was 3 hours long, I would put it in mid. But since it wasted so much of my motherfucking time in mid, I'm gonna put it in trash. Because it feels like it's not really a whole lot, except for the last act, except for like basically the Flash scene in it. You know, that gets put out there to death. Kind of saved the experience a little bit for me, so I couldn't like fully put it in trash, but it's like I was expecting it to be an improvement of Justice League. It's just more of it, and the editing is like a good editor could probably like trim that movie down to 2.5 hours, and it could be solid. It could be alright, but yeah, it's just mid as it is right now. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's a shame because Zack Snyder, this is obviously catharsis for him. I hope, and it was unfortunate circumstances that happened with him to get removed from this movie for sure. And I felt like what he could have done was like show restraint and like be like, I'm not the guy you think I am. You unjustly fired me from this movie.
No, like they gave him money and like a truckload of cocaine, and he just fucking went ham. Just did what he was gonna do, regardless of runtime.
But he does the opposite. It's like, no, this is gonna be like a fucking what do they call that shit? Like this is the end game of Zack Snyder movies, and it's just like we're gonna add everything. We're gonna make this a 4. They were like, yo, we're gonna like make this an hour long. We made this an hour long movie, like hour long TV show, blah blah blah. Make it 4 hours. Maul from the Joe Budden podcast, he was like, I've been watching this Justice League movie for 2 days, and I have no idea what's going on. It's but you're right. Editor could have tightened this movie up. This is a 2.5 hour movie. This would be an amazing movie, and I'm being honest. But as it is, it's a 4 hour movie that is mid. I'll be generous and call it mid. What do you think? What do you think, Christopher? What are you rating it?
Gas, brother, man. Gas. I'm sorry. Wow. I love this movie, man. I'm so damn sorry. I'm in the cut. I apologize. Ant has not moved for like 20 seconds, man.
He's rethinking you guys doing a comic together.
Oh,
It's like the decisions that's gotten me to this point.
I can get it though. I can get it, like because it's not. But if we can
No, put Chris on the spot. He got to fight for it. He got to tell me what's gas in this movie.
Hold on a second, bro. Like if we're admitting that this movie with a good editor could have been amazing, because I said amazing, like I meant amazing, then I can understand somebody being able to look over the flaws, because it's not like this movie is the movie's sloppy. It's not terrible. Like there's not a lot of bad scenes. It's not like I feel like generally the scenes are good. They're just put together wrong. So I can get it, but yeah, that comic book is canceled.
damn. Look, Armin's in the comments helping me out, backing me up.
Yo, Armin is also fired.
Damn. Armin,
I'm getting rid of some dead weight. No, all right. So we said gas. I said mid. What'd you say, Marcus?
I said mid too.
All right, Chris. What do we?
Yo, I didn't give this movie any of my time, B. I want to be honest. I'm done with all this for now. I'm ready to see what happens in this next phase of DC, but not seeing this movie was cathartic for me, you know.
What
Chris says he had just as much fun not seeing it as Zack Snyder did making it.
This was made for the Zack Snyder fans. This is what the people wanted. Not the people that I know.
Right here.
Listen. Just literally the math checks out like this. You said fire. That's 5 out of 5. We said mid, which is 2 out of 5.
I said gas.
I said gas. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. So gas is 5 out of 5. This is 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. It literally evens out to I. I can't wait for us to do like a good series. You know, like we keep doing bullshit. We did phase 4,
and then DC.
And then DCEU.
Phase 1 MCU is gonna be a good one, I think.
You think we got 10 people in the last stream? You want to do phase 4 real quick?
We could do. Yep. We could also we can save that for another stream.
All right, hold on 1 second. All right. W host filibuster.
I'm filibustering right now. As you pull up the MCU rankings.
No, I'm just looking for like ranking lists.
Like a tier list.
Yeah, I can't fucking stand Google, bro. I'm like, y'all get this when you like Google something. It's like we're getting a lot of searches from your IP address, like, and they make you do a like a little captcha jump. Y'all get those?
No, you be on it. Yeah, you be stressing.
Yeah, I shouldn't be torrenting so much.
There it is.
Oh man, you're gonna get us doxed off of YouTube, man.
Is that how that works?
No, I don't think so.
See, we got some discourse here in the chat. No way Shazam is higher than Wonder Woman.
People always
we already admitted that we gave Shazam a little bit of a bump.
Shazam is good. Shazam is
good. Wonder Woman's good too, but like, yeah.
Marcus, those are biased people. Those are one of them is my wife, and then one's my daughter.
Okay. Yo, you could have told us. You could have told us. We might have popped off.
I didn't recognize. I was like, oh, oops.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
I could have went like, Kayla, you're wrong. I'm gonna list out all the reasons.
I feel like we got 11. I feel like we got 11 people watching. Let's just do phase 1.
Yeah, we can
tier ranking. And then we can do two, 3, yeah, because we want to take advantage of the people. people will be like,
That's-
"Get back to comics."
That is a terrible soundbite. Who
Like,
wants
where's
to
the
that was a
fucking
terrible
comics?
soundbite.
Where's the fucking comics? You comic bros.
Yeah,
Super
but
MCU bros after this.
yeah, but anyone that's watching, definitely take the time to hit that like button and to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You know, everything helps in getting us in front of new eyes and making the Super Comic Books Bro family grow. You know, we're trying to get as big as possible.
We got like 4 subs today. Are your wife and daughter subbed?
Probably not. Hold on.
You should tell at least your wife to sub. I don't know about the. I don't know about you.
Can she? No, because my other daughters are here asleep. I can't bang on the wall. I thought I'd be able to bang hard enough and it's like, hey.
I'm looking for phase 1. Do they have phase 1?
Damn, this is
All right. Let's do MCU characters. Let's do MCU characters.
MCU characters.
God,
Characters.
God damn. Yo, this
MCU
shit will not
characters.
stop. Never mind. Hell no. Bro, I swear to God, I'm looking at this bitch. They got old boy from Solter from Thor Ragnarok. I'm like, what the fuck do I know about him? Like, what is going on here?
How many movies are in phase 1?
Yeah,
6.
like 6.
There's not many, right? There's only 6. All right, I got it.
Iron Man
There's
2,
only-
Thor, Captain America, Avengers 5.
Yeah, you can share it and I'll allow it. Because we lost a subscriber during the stream. I guess people were like, Captain America never be racist.
Well, here, look down in the chat. There's your
Can you imagine somebody was like, Captain America was just doing his job?
There you go.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah. There's your new sub.
Thank you. Well, we lost one, so now it was a net gain, you know, or net. I don't know, bro. I'm
Even
we
out.
rocking. Damn, phase 1 already. Yeah, I feel like phase 1 we can do 6. We got 8 viewers. We need to get the watch hours.
All right, put it in the
2 hours.
put it in the
is good.
present.
Okay.
All right, is this Iron Man 1, I guess?
Guess.
All right, gas. Is that how we're feeling, Christopher?
I think now I know we don't like doing relative for sure, and I'm not saying relative. I'm not going to compare it to phase 1. I'm not even going to compare it to other the phase 4 movies. But I feel like this movie was so good that it spurred this entire thing, and I think it speaks to how fucking phenomenal it was, and it was really a trendsetter. And it was also super risky. I think it's a great movie, and I think the only reason if Iron Man was it, and then we never got another one, we would put it here. But because we're I think it's the opposite. Because we can compare it to Infinity War, and because we got better movies, then it seems like it's not gas. But bro, like this was it. Motherfuckers are saying this is better than Spider-Man. Motherfuckers was like, this is not as good as the Dark Knight, I don't think, but it was on that level. Like those are, I don't know those conversations, but I would say gas for sure.
I'd agree. I think this is definitely gas. I think it's still, even having like Infinity War and movies like that this is still one of the best. Yeah, it's just so good. It started the whole thing. This is it. And Robert Downey was born to be Tony Stark. It was just perfect. You know, I think about that scene of him just sitting there eating the Burger King cheeseburger like all the time,
Iconic,
like rent free. So
iconic.
yeah, iconic scene. Chris,
No,
how do
you-
you?
Marcus.
You
Or Marcus,
which
Christopher,
one?
one of you guys. Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, no debate for me. It's gas. Like I don't want to say I got dragged, but I went to go see this movie, and then not, one day after I got done with that, another group of friends was like, "We gotta go see Iron Man," and then after that, another group of friends was like, "We gotta go see Iron Man." Everybody's going to see Iron Man. Like it was pretty much a sensation.
It's gas. It's gas. Hulk was actually the first for the MCU before Iron Man. It was
What do you mean?
Well, it was the actual like first start.
Yeah,
What do you mean? The Incredible Hulk?
The one that's like right there.
yeah.
Nah.
No, that
you talking
came
about-
after Iron Man.
That came after Iron Man. Iron Man
Oh.
showed up at the end.
Yeah.
Iron Man showed up. No. We don't even have to do that. Iron Man showed up in the Hulk after credit scene.
Why do I feel like Hulk came out first?
I don't know.
There was a Hulk movie that came out before before this.
You
I'm
were the
thinking about that
second
one.
person to make that kind of distinction to me, and I'm like, yo, Iron Man literally showed up in the Incredible Hulk. Like
He
he
did.
talked to
He did.
he
He
talked to
did.
Ross.
Yeah. But no. Iron Man came out when I was in high school, and I went out and bought a 5950 hat. And I hate wearing those fucking hats. But yeah, just for Iron Man. Yeah, that was a dope ass movie. So definitely gas.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair to you, they came out within a month of each other. Iron Man came out in May, and this came out in June.
Yes.
So it's like they were like literally right on each other's tails. And then there was that Incredible Hulk movie. I think that was like 2005 though.
Come on, B Hulk.
Yeah. So how do we feel about this? Where are we putting this? Steph,
I'm gonna
how do
say
you feel?
mid, and I like
Mid.
kind of the opposite. Kind of like I'm taking it as I remember these movies. Like after Iron Man, it was mid. Like it was like this. Like okay, this was maybe I go all right. I could be persuaded to go all right, but there was nothing remarkable about this movie. It's kind of like the Suicide Squad, where it's like okay, the last movie was ass, so we're gonna bump this movie up. I don't think it was anything to write home about. There's a reason why people don't like unless you're doing an MCU marathon, you're not revisiting this movie. Like
That's true.
Christopher, how do you feel? You saying it's all right?
I'm gonna say it's all right.
You want to elaborate or just it's like
Big green man smash buildings makes me happy. It gives me dopamine. That's about it.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Marcus, how do you feel about it?
Marcus, you're muted. Marcus, you're muted.
He in the Phantom Zone.
Coming live from the sunken place.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes. What the? You sound like you were underwater.
Oh, yeah, my computer's glitching.
How was that new Aquaman movie?
Amber Heard kills everyone. It's terrible. Yeah, but I was saying, The Incredible Hulk is like the definition of mid to me. When I think of a mid movie, I think of The Incredible Hulk. I don't know. I like something like I'm not mad I spent money on it in theater. I don't want to really see it again. But if I'm like cruising through cable and it's playing on USA, I'll watch a couple scenes in it until I go on to the next thing. So it's just mid to me.
I think that's fair. I honestly kind of enjoy this movie, so I probably put it at I, but I could also be persuaded for mid. But I think if we tally it all up, we're at I for this one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say that. I would like. Ooh.
First Captain America, Joe.
I'm gonna say fire. I'm gonna say fire. And I think this is actually one of the most underrated movies. Like all the complaints about MCU movies being all the same, this movie was unique in its look. It had a completely different language than the other MCU movies. It told a story really well. It had a great characterization. The action was fantastic. It embodied kind of like that idealistic nature of older films, kind of like that pulpy kind of Indiana Jones thing. I think this is a really good. The performances were fantastic. You know, you got Chris Evans, you got Tommy Lee Jones, you got other people. I'm tired, but it was a fan. It was. I think it's a very, 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 very good movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I enjoy this film, but a part of me it's hard for me to like not compare it to the ones that come after it, the specific Captain America movies, just because like when you line them all up, it is the worst one of the three. But that's not to say it makes it a bad movie. I probably put it at the top of but fireworks for it or for me as well. Marcus, what's your take on it?
Yeah, it's kind of the same way. Like, because I love it for all the same reasons personally that Anthony just mentioned. But like, I can also recognize like its flaws. But personally, it is one of those ones that I'll revisit from time to time, just because it does feel like such a different vibe. You know, it's good. Just good, solid two-fisted action, and like, but then when it comes to like character stuff and developing Cap and taking him where he needs to be, like that's A+ like character work that they do in the movie too. And I think some of the action stuff I could take it or leave it, but how they're able to like nobody ever thought Cap was going to even be like in contest with Iron Man for being like a top dog in the MCU. You know, it's like whatever. Then First Avenger came out, and they were like, okay, Cap's that dude. And then Winter Soldier came out, and they like, he's really, really, really that dude. So yeah, I keep it fire.
I would say that We can't. I don't think we can. I hate when people using this argument. Like I can't have Incredible Hulk and Captain America on the same tier. You know?
No, it's not fair.
Yeah.
No.
It's like an entire peg above like Incredible Hulk.
Christopher, what's your take?
Captain America 1 just told me to go back to Africa. Sorry, we gotta do the callbacks. Keep it where it's at. Keep it where it's at. Every character here I knew of prior before the movies came out, so I kind of was like, you know what? People might not resonate well with Captain America 1. I mean, with Captain America because of his like super serious like demeanor and his like out of touch and whatnot. But they did it so well and it had a good background. The only thing I didn't like is the fact that like because he's so old, there were other Marvel characters that they could have used, but due to like licensing and whatnot, they couldn't do them, which I get that. So it's fire. Keep it at fire. I agree with you not keeping it next to the Hulk. This list so far, I think we're all like unanimous for once. So this is great.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Iron Man 2.
Mid. Mid.
Mid?
Especially, it's like so funny. It's like you have like it just makes so much sense that like Iron Man 2 was a completely unsatisfying experience for me. And it's just like we just got one everything. It works. Like Iron Man changed my perspective on movies. Captain America is underrated, fantastic. Incredible Hulk is like, and this one was like deeply dissatisfying. You know what I'm saying? Wasted all that potential, ruined like the first miss for the MCU, I feel like, and I think that's why I would put it as mid. Especially the potential. Like let's compare it to the first movie for a second and think about how much of a steep drop off it is.
Yeah, I honestly want to kind of put this in trash, and I think time has made me look at this movie even worse. This movie is as bad as a lot of the Phase 4 movies, if not worse. Like this was such a drop off, and if more of Phase 2 and Phase 3 ended up like this, we would not have gotten as far as we did with Marvel movies. This was a bad look. They shit the bed on this one. But I mean, I could see how you could say mid. I think there's definitely like a no. This is definitely W opinion. Honestly, W opinion putting this in trash for sure. Marcus, how do you feel about it?
I am waffling between mid and trash because I do quite like the first act of this movie, like, but it's just so downhill from there. And like, I can't think of anything that's like really stand out from like the rest of the movie where I can like forgive it or even say, hey, yeah, watch this one, recommend it. It's part of your time. Like even with like additional like meta context from like the rest of the MCU, like how we almost kind of like look back at like Thor: The Dark World like a little bit rosier, like knowing where some of those storylines and things go like in the future and stuff like that. It's just like even Marvel themselves just like threw Iron Man 2 under the bus and just went on from it. So
yeah, I agree. Christopher, how do you feel about it? Where are you putting it?
Where's it at right now?
I think Stokes had it mid. Marcus, do you have a final on that? Was that mid or trash for you?
I'm gonna say trash. I'm gonna
say trash.
I'm gonna say trash. Yeah.
I'm gonna say trash too. Give us your opinion, Christopher. What's your take?
Put it back in trash.
Damn.
Everything that you said about it because like it has so much to like live off of Iron Man 1, and when they did too, they kind of started throwing things like at the wall, trying to see what works, what resonates, what sticks. So Iron Man 2 is like my first two Kickstarter campaigns, just garbage. Leave it where it's at. It never happened.
Damn.
Keep it in trash.
Yeah, Iron Man is crazy because each Iron Man movie, like number 1 starts off like really good, and then 2 and 3 are like don't even get close to its level. And then like Captain America, like each movie is just so much better. Like they just hit every single time. And yeah, no, this shit is trash. This shit was definitely an L. Before we do Avengers, let's do Thor. Stokes, where are you putting Thor at?
I'm gonna say fire, and I think the problem is we have Incredible Hulk at I. Like I feel like because I can't put Thor next to Incredible Hulk. Like it's just a completely better film. Again, it's at least a rack better. So then I have to push it up to fire.
I hear you. I mean, it could also be at the top of I. You know.
No, that we don't do. There's no that movie being next to that other movie is a crime, and that is a crime against my sensibilities.
I mean, is this? I kind of like how this looks, honestly. If we move, if we
I like
bump
that.
Hulk
I
down
like that
to
a
mid,
lot. I mean,
Yeah,
think it
I
makes
feel
sense.
like that's actually correct when I look
Yeah.
at it. It feels right on money.
I agree.
I thought motherfuckers gonna push back on that Iron Man 2 shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was cooked. I thought I was cooked in this stream, y'all. Oh,
right,
It's just,
man.
Iron Man 2 is like an ugly baby. Like you try to find something like positive to
Yeah.
say, but honestly, you just want it out of the room.
I think Chris is right. I think Chris is right in that, like if we comparing this to other weak superhero movies, like if we're comparing this to Spider-Man 3, give me Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
If you give me like even some of the Phase 4 movies, like I'd prefer like a Thor 4 over it. I would prefer like some of these misses from the recent. I'm picking Doctor Strange 2 over this. Obviously there's more scale, but for me, just the this was like a Phase 4 movie in Phase 1, like basically.
Yeah.
And it since this we always say like it's not relative, but it is a little bit relative when you're putting them side by side, and because of that, yeah, I think trash is right.
Yeah, it would be one of the worst movies in Phase 4, which is like saying something. So I think it definitely deserves that trash. But all right, we're on that last one. Christopher, you wanna start off our rank for Avengers? Where would you put it?
Above gas.
Above gas.
Above gas. It's right there. Right there.
I agree. No, we're not making. What the fuck are you doing? We're not making a new tier. It's gas. It's just gas.
I just heard my wife just yell, above gas. Yes,
There's
above
nothing
gas.
above gas, bro.
There is, bro. It's top shelf, B.
I fucking hate this shit.
This is why
We found a new level.
I'm the top Chris. I did it.
we got a new one, dude. Top
I
shelf.
hate this. I hate this so much. Like, why? Why can't it be next to just Iron Man?
No, I feel you.
I'm about to say, what the fuck? Like, we didn't do that for any other tier. Like, if we had 2 trash movies, wouldn't be like ultra trash. Like, you can have 2 great. They're 2 great movies, and I think it's also kind of almost like a parallels, because like, okay, this movie it has like the most scale. Iron Man 1 is relatively a smaller movie, relative, like I said, and then this is like the biggest, and it's like, okay, they're both. Yo, let me get George up here real quick, because he's talking crazy. He is absolutely talking crazy. No, there's no. What do we think about that? Real quick, react to that tape. I'm filibustering so I can get
No, that's
George
crazy.
in.
That's crazy. No gas Phase 1 movies.
That is a hot take.
I think you could argue that there's 4 or 5. Sorry to cut you off, but there's like 4. You could argue there's like 3 to 4, maybe even 5. Like if you, maybe not 5, but you could argue 3 to even 4. If somebody really loved Thor 1, I wouldn't hate on them. Like
I just don't. I don't know how you understand, like how you like simp for Iron Man 2, and then be like, there's no gas.
Yeah, something's broken on the barometer right there.
I'm trying to figure out like what the fuck going on. Like that shit is gas. That shit is fire. But yeah, I think Avengers is, I would say gas. I think unfortunately that movie gets a bad rap. I know Josh Whedon's a piece of shit, but his movies aren't. Like, that's a great fucking movie. And I also think that like I said, I'm kind of trying to take things. I'm there's 2 different ways I look at movies. I think of it like, what did I think when it came out, and then what did I think like now in retrospect. And when Avengers came out, it was the best. It was amazing. It was a fucking phenomenal movie. It was a great fucking movie. I'd never seen anything like it. And then now it's just like, are there cringe moments? Yes. Like, why do a couple cringe jokes just Is that a dumping salt on your fucking movie? I don't understand, bro. It's gas. It's fantastic.
Can we go back to the Josh Whedon movie takes when you do like the very next phase? Because I got some shit to say about Ultron, but that's for like another day.
Ooh, a little bit of a tease.
A little bit of a page turn.
Okay. All right.
Marcus, did you give your Avengers take?
Oh no, I didn't. But yeah, I agree too. It's gas, especially like growing up on Marvel and like us being told as Marvel fans that like an Avengers movie is like a fucking pipe dream. They ain't never gonna work, and we ain't never gonna see it. Never gonna happen. The movie just existing within itself was a miracle.
I love this because it covers up Chris's face.
But I mean, I enjoyed the whole thing. But then I kept hearing like, oh, it's a post-credit scene. So it's post-credit scene like all the other Marvel movies. Like keep it out, or stay in the theater and watch it. So I'm like, man, I'm already feeling good. Like that was a dope movie. Like I loved it. And then you get the stinger with Thanos. I'm like, they're doing fucking Infinity Gauntlet. Like what? Like I just like my mind was just blown leaving the theater. And actually, just us sitting here talking to it kind of low key makes me want to rewatch movie again because it's been a while since I checked it out.
Oh, we got George. I'm stupid as shit. We got George.
Hey,
I'm dumb as hell, bro. I'm dumb as shit. George, bitch. I'm like, where the fuck George at? Fuck. All right, George. All right, real quick though, fellas, are we happy with this list, with this ranking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So my argument for having a potential tier above is just what Marcus was saying, because not only did it deliver and it was a culmination of all these different storylines, it did set up for this like the amazingness that is phase 2 and 3, right? Like, and it's just the fact that Thanos, we get to see Thanos. Like, I remember my dad telling me like, yo, you know what they should do? Like years before, they're like, yo, they should make a movie and make Infinity Gauntlet. And it was just like, but they can never do it. The scale, all the setup, you never be able to get to it. And the fact that they did, and this is the movie that really launched them into a position to be able to do it, like building off of Iron Man. I could see there being a top shelf category for this. This like S+.
No,
But otherwise,
if it's gas, it's gas, bro. That's the best. It's 5 out of 5. Like, there's no 6 out of 5. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, sometimes there is 6 out of 5.
No, there's not.
Sometimes the amp does go.
Why do people keep doing this?
Go.
Why y'all keep doing this shit? It doesn't make any sense. I'll make a post that's, hey, pick option A or B. Motherfuckers is like both. I'm like, I said or means pick one. Not all the time. No.
Nah,
5 out of 5. Listen to the rules, bro.
But see, in those situations, you can't add an answer or a tier, but I can add a tier at any moment.
Oh my god, this is the problem with the indie comic community, is that motherfuckers can't follow basic instructions. It's 5. We done 3 of these react to these rankings, and it's been 5 tiers the other 2 times. But now it's 2 great movies. You finally get a good phase, and we want to pull this bullshit where it's like, oh, this one's a 6 out of 5. Nah, fuck that, man, bro. What the fuck? If Thor Ragnarok came out or Infinity War came out during this phase, we're gonna have a 7 out of 5. Like, what's the floor here, bro? Stop it.
There is no floor.
What's the ceiling?
What's we're gonna have a 0 out of 5? Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro?
Hey, are we keeping going now, or are we gonna cut soon?
You said what?
Are we gonna cut soon, or are we gonna like keep going?
I mean, I'm chilling. I was going to listen to George, but we got them 10 viewers, so I'm like, I'm chilling. You got to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna give her back her room because I just saw what time it was, and I was like, shit.
We've been having a good time. I think we'll let George get his hot takes off, and then we'll wrap up pretty soon here.
Okay.
All right, Christopher.
Oh no, I'll wait for that.
Okay, I'm about to say our book's canceled.
You don't want to miss roasting George.
Our books. I have to stay now. Our books about to get.
All right. No, how about this? So take a screenshot of this, Chris. Don't dox yourself though.
Don't dox yourself.
Yeah, because if you hit the save, it'll show the downloads. All right, let's return it. Let's return it to. Can you reset the tier?
Yeah, I could just take them all off.
All right, now we're gonna have George, or you can maybe restart.
Yeah.
Let's have George. God damn.
Let me just watch it. That's it. So I'll be out of here.
What kind of
whatever.
shit is this?
I don't know. The cookies.
Reset. Go boom, down. Now this is dub content.
Hey, there we go.
This is W content. All right, George. This is our homie George. He has a podcast and he does stuff. He's active. All right. Now give us your ranking. We can't argue or push back. You give us your ranking of phase 1.
All right. Can we get like the scales back, like gas, fire, mid, and trash?
Nothing's going in this mid tier. I know that much.
Well, I mean, I don't like using the word mid. I think it's just like super lazy. But I mean, for expediency's sake and just how we use the scale, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fucking mid movies here, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think phase 1 is that good. I think phase 1 is like a solid foundation, but I don't think a lot of these movies do much more than like some of the most average action movies at the time. Like I think they feel like aggressively mediocre action movies with a superhero skin. And now these movies started coming out when I was like 18, so I love them, but I don't think they're like especially good movies. I think the only fire movie here is Iron Man 1. Because that actually felt like a well-made, competent action movie that looked good, shot on locations, and did interesting things, just in terms of like actually shooting in real places. I think you can take Incredible Hulk and put that in either mid or trash. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt and say mid.
Let me say something real quick, George.
Please.
We aren't rating on a scale, right? Like we are saying, what do we think about these movies in a vacuum?
Yeah.
Okay. Just.
Okay. In that case, leave it in mid. Leave Iron Man and fire. I'm gonna take First Avenger and put that in trash. I think that movie.
What?
Yeah, I think that movie like literally looks like shit. Like it looks like they filmed it with Vaseline on the lens. You can see 10,000 wrinkles on Tommy Lee Jones's face and like a small smirk as he realizes he's cashing a giant ass check. I think that movie looks like garbage. Like you can tell every single green screen shot in that movie. The final hangar scene is like offensive to me as someone who watches movies.
Do you think some of that though is stylistic? And I listen, I hate the whole thing of like the movie looks shit on purpose, but I do think in this case when they're like recreating like propaganda, it's supposed to look older. It's supposed to look like an Indiana Jones or like what's the Rocketeer. Do you think some of that? Would you grant that some of that is a conscious choice and then blame it on execution?
I wouldn't, because League of Extraordinary Gentlemen came out like 5 years earlier and looked better. Like it's not a better movie. I'm not saying it's a better movie.
Well, I
but like
can't buy that.
It looked better because they shot on location. They shot on location.
They used a ton of green screen dogs.
I agree with listen, bro. I agree with Marcus. That movie looked like shit. Like
I just covered it on the show. It does not look like shit compared to First Avenger. The only good scenes in First Avenger when they're shooting at like the military base.
Why are you looking? What are you, a fucking location scout?
Yeah, this shit matters. Like go to places and film. You're the most powerful like film studio in the goddamn universe in the history of entertainment. Go
this
places.
Is Paramount Pictures. This is Paramount Pictures.
Captain America?
Captain America's Paramount Pictures.
All right. Your top 3 most powerful film studios in the history of entertainment.
This motherfucker moved to global. Okay, so basically this is like how many scenes shot on location, and that's how we're doing it.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I think this stuff is important. Like, I didn't feel like it was in a real place. Like, it felt like it was in like a paper town built for the movies. That's my same problem with Thor. Is like I don't feel consequences. Like
I don't think Asgard was real. I can also say that.
Fuck you. No, the town in Arizona or New Mexico, wherever they were, the town in New Mexico didn't feel real.
Really? I thought.
I didn't think so.
Is this a trash movie also, Thor?
No, Thor's mid.
Okay, Thor's mid.
Iron Man 2. Yeah. I love Iron Man 2. I think it's the best one of these. But it's my favorite one of these. I gotta correct myself around Stokes. I'm gonna put it in. No, I'm gonna put it in. It should go in mid. Just like objectively speaking about the movie, like I love it. That doesn't mean it's a good movie. And then I'm going to put Avengers in even though the costumes in that movie fucking sucked ass. Captain America should be embarrassed about how he looks in that.
He hasn't mentioned story one time. He hasn't mentioned characters. He hasn't mentioned dialogue.
All these movies are basic as fuck, man. All these movies are basic. All right.
I'm just saying you haven't commented on it. You commented on costumes and like set design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I want to be impressed. I want to be impressed when I see a movie. I think the story in Thor is probably like the strongest origin.
Yeah.
of any character. Like besides Iron Man, like Robert Downey Jr. was so good as Tony Stark that like the comics have been chasing him for the past 15 years. Like they've just been doing their best Robert Downey Jr. impression.
Mhm.
So like that has to matter. Like that is clearly the best origin movie. I think of the rest of these, Thor is probably the second best one. I just don't think the movie itself is particularly interesting. I think like the world design is good. Like I love what they did with Asgard. Tom Hiddleston's awesome. Chris Hemsworth is like a really good douchebag, and I actually feel like he learned a lesson of humility, like in his time on Earth. I just think the movie looks like shit.
Okay. I have a question for you, because one of the things I said about Black Panther 2, I don't think it's a great movie, but I thought Black Panther to me looked like shit, and not necessarily like the climax, but just nothing felt real. Like nothing felt like it was shot on location. Do you have any opinions on Black Panther 2 or Black Panther 1 in that context of like the world building, in the sense of like literally like building the world? Did you feel like that took you out as well, or were you able to be in those movies?
A little bit, yeah, but I also think the performances were just really strong in that. Like I thought Letitia Wright was incredibly charming. I think Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther might be as cool as Chadwick Boseman in 21 Bridges. I don't know how that's possible, but like just an incredibly charming, charismatic dude that like you want to root for. And like in all these movies, like do we like Edward Norton? Like I know he's talented, but do we like Edward Norton
As a person?
yeah, like when you see him at like if you're flipping through the channels and you see an Edward Norton movies on, like are you like, okay, I'll fuck with this for a little bit?
Not now. But he's also like way past his prime, and I also don't think he's at that kind of like Don Johnson level where he's like been gone long and he's been kind of hanging around, you know.
Yeah,
so we can't
been
even miss
long
him.
enough for us to miss him. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I got you. So okay, go ahead. Or is this the list? I can't. Okay.
This is the list.
I think this is. I feel like me and George should be like a Skip and Stephen A show. This is the worst list I've ever seen. I don't know who that was.
Let me tell you what the problem is.
You got this guy over here. I hate how Stephen A pontificates. I'm not going to pontificate. I don't know how you can say Captain America is trash. I just don't understand. Just the writing, like just in terms of like I think there's floors, right? I think certain things raise floors. I think the writing was good. I thought the direction was really good. The acting, I think the Captain America's acting was the strongest thing. You know, you got Stanley Tucci, you got you got people we know Tommy Lee Jones, and then so I couldn't give it less than like. Just off of that, and then Thor had. I'm glad you have Iron Man 2 mid. You know what? Great list.
I love that movie. Like someone mentioned it in the comments, I can't remember. But like the scene with whatever Sterling Cooper's name actually is, the actor's name, you know, dude from Mad Men, when he's like doing like the weird like Disney documentary shit, and like Tony's watching that. Like I think that's like the most powerful scene in the movie. And it was just like really nice to see Tony, who's so future minded, be haunted by something that happened in his past. Like I thought that irony was interesting. Yeah, First Avenger is trashy, right?
How?
I just think it's like a boring, basic ass movie. My favorite scene in First Avenger is when he's like incredibly sad that he can't get drunk. Like I think that's like a really interesting scene. I think that was probably like Chris Evans' best acting in the movie. Because like
that wasn't Avengers.
From First Avenger.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Captain America: The First Avenger, as opposed to the First Avengers. Sorry, the First Avengers movie.
Okay. You said First Avenger. Oh, okay, I got it. And then, yeah, we're gonna have to disagree on Iron Man 2. I ain't gonna lie, because that movie was like the start of like the person you know as Stokes. Because I wouldn't shut the fuck up. I was like, oh my god, they wasted so much potential. It was too much fan service. I didn't know what the fuck's fan service. But I would have said we should make a trash. Custom trash like comic movie, like, because I'm curious how like. We're keeping track of what we consider trash, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just do all of it. Like we do a bunch of them. We do Spider-Man movies. And then we rank the trash movies relative. Yeah, trash a
That's
ton.
dope.
Because my justification for why, like, I think Spider-Man 3 is incredibly underrated. Because it's super ambitious. I think it has a lot of great moments. And the flaws in that movie are what we see in all the movies now. Like the too many villains, like too much fan service, overcrowded plot, like it's like, well, that movie had a lot going for it that like Iron Man 2 didn't. Like Iron Man 2 didn't have as many good moments. So I would want to rate the lowest of the low, basically. Like, all right,
Okay.
what's the best trash?
Okay.
No, that's a good idea. I mean,
W,
yeah,
W content. W host.
it'll be a nice like culmination stream after a few more of them.
I know you
Hell
guys
yeah.
I know you were trying to talk about this like in a vacuum, but like greater scale question. Like how many phase 1 movies would crack your top 5? What would crack your top 10 for MCU?
Top 10? Top 10
Avengers.
there'd probably be one or two. I think Iron Man is definitely a lock in a top 10.
But not
For
a
sure.
top 5, right?
I think for a top 5 you could probably I could probably find an Iron Man in a top 5.
I feel like that's like a dad though saying like, "Oh, well the best Star Wars movie is A New Hope." You know, like as opposed to like when I was a
I
kid,
mean-
but it's like it's clearly Empire Strikes Back. Like if you're a kid, you know, compared to like
Yeah.
your dad who's like
Here's
a
I
bit
think
more
the problem
nostalgic.
is that Iron Man laid the groundwork, and while I don't grade on a scale in reverse, like I'm not gonna compare Iron Man 1 to Infinity War.
Sure.
If we're just asking what's the best movie, Infinity War is better because of Iron Man. It's like it already laid down the groundwork. So Iron Man would not be in my top 10. I mean, it wouldn't be my top 5 because like I'm thinking like Infinity War, Ragnarok, Guardians 1, probably two other good fucking movies. But that doesn't make Iron Man worse. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just a result of that's the goal. The goal should be to push all these great movies down on the ranking. But Phase 4 sucked. So it's remained largely unchanged. But it would be in my top 10 for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely have to have George on for that ranking of trash.
I don't know. I feel like I lost Marcus this episode. Marcus, I don't think I bet you. Like, I don't think we've been in a space together. So
No,
this is a bad.
Odyssey
first week.
Comics.
I
You've been in a
apologize.
space with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad we went through this because I always tell people who hate Phase 4. I'm like, Phase 1 and Phase 2 aren't as good as you remember, and that's what I tell people. Because yeah, I love Iron Man, I love Avengers. I think they top tier, and then I'll personally really like the first Avenger because I love that side of stuff, like the old school things like Rocketeer, Indiana Jones movie, which is where Joe Johnston comes from, which is where I argue against you that wasn't stylistic choices for it, because I think everything done for the first Avenger was 100% intentionally stylistic, and it was supposed to be done to look a little bit like sort of like ethereal, like those movies did, like say Skyman, A World of Tomorrow, which I recognize is like not a good movie, but I personally love that movie just because I love it stylistically. That'd be the one thing I argue. But yeah, the other listings, like they could be wherever on the list, and I would not take anybody to task for dropping them wherever they went to. Phase 2 is always interesting to me too, because I think everybody thinks that Phase 2 is like super dope or something, but like when you look into it, and this comes from a person who actually really likes Iron Man 3. I like it a lot more than most people do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works better than most people give it credit for. But still, like overall, it's like you take away like Winter Soldier from Phase 2, and it's like Guardians and Winter Soldier. Like,
Hey, whoa! We gotta save that for save it for the Phase 2 stream. We'll have to make sure you come on for Phase 2. But I think we're gonna wrap. Stokes, do you want to plug Intrusive Thoughts?
Intrusive Thoughts, man. Check it out. It's a good book.
Marcus, you got anything you want to plug?
You guys check out The Last Hero #1 currently on Kickstarter right now. We just hit funded today, so we're trying to push towards those stretch goals.
Awesome,
see if we can
congrats.
get some funding for issue 2, get that crank in as soon as we can.
Good shit, man. I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
That's really sick. Shortbox, George.
Yeah.
What do you got? Anything you want to promote?
Brand new episode of Shortbox tomorrow. Met up with a guy named Carlos who knows, has forgotten more about Spider-Man than I will ever know. And we talk about the first half of the story called The Other from 2005, big Spider-Man crossover, where Peter Parker may or may not die. super fun stuff. So look forward to that.
Awesome. And everyone, you already know, Control Z 1 through 2. We're going till February 8th. Make sure to back right now. And yeah, I think that's a wrap. Stokes, you're the man in the chair today, so
I am.
it's up to you to end the stream.
He sent that 6 minutes ago. Let's wrap. All right, man. All right, everybody. Bye. All right.